This is Jocko Podcast number 258 with me, Jocko Willink. Several AK-47s opened fire before the King B's wheels touched down. Nonetheless, Black and the remaining 3 Vietnamese St. Alabama team members exited the H-34. As the King B lifted off, the NVA gunfire increased significantly, and moments later, the laboring Sikorsky H-34 crashed. Although this was Black's first SOG mission into prairie fire, he knew the odds were stacked against St. Alabama. He and Cowboy argued vigorously for an immediate extraction. The team had been compromised. The element of surprise was gone. The other American, who had not gone through Special Forces qualification course at Fort Bragg, remained silent. "No," said the new 1-0. "I'm an American. No slant-eyed son of a bitch is going to run me off." Watkins offered the 1-0 a chance to extract. The offer was declined. The team was to continue. The team leader ordered the point man to walk down a well-traveled trail away from the LZ into the jungle. Black, Cowboy, and the point man, Hoa, argued against heading down the trail. The first rule of recon was to never use trails, especially well-traveled ones. The 1-0 pulled rank and ordered the team to move down the trail, with Hoa leading the way and the elder Green Beret following a short distance behind him. The trail wound into the jungle and curved to the left. St. Alabama moved cautiously. As the team went down the trail, it moved parallel to a small rise on its right that was about 10 to 20 feet above the team. On it, the NVA colonel had quickly assembled a force of 50 NVA soldiers who set up a classic L-shaped ambush. The quiet of the early morning jungle was shattered when the NVA troops opened fire with their AK-47s and SKS rifles. The AK rounds ripped into the point man's chest and face. The fatal impact of those rounds lifted the canteen covers around his waist, appearing to keep his body suspended in air. What had been a human body milliseconds earlier was being chewed into an amorphous form that hit the ground with a sickening thud. Arterial blood spurted high into the air. 3 rounds slammed into the 1-0's head, blowing off the right side of his face, killing him instantly. Nothing could prepare St. Alabama for the grisly horror unfolding at that moment. The 1-1 buried his face in the dirt and started praying. Black and the remaining St. Alabama team members returned fire. The Green Beret stood there firing us on single shot, picking off NVA soldiers on top of the rise. He loaded his CAR-15 and went down the line, shooting them one after another. Sometimes they spun, and he shot them a second or third time. As the NVA continued to fire on the team, Black and Cowboy formed the team into a circle and directed a barrage of M79 grenade rounds and CAR-15 fire into the surrounding jungle. Then, startling, eerie silence. Black thought he was in his grave. St. Alabama was in a low spot with the ground rising 10 to 20 feet on both left and right. Both the NVA and St. Alabama tended to their wounded, while the living combatants slammed loaded magazines into their hot weapons. There was moaning and groaning, human suffering on both sides. Black got on the PRC-25 to tell Covey about St. Alabama's tragic turn of events. Black and Tho scavenged weapons and ammo from the dead St. Alabama team members. Fortunately, Covey was still airborne. Black reported that he had 2 KIAs and 2 WIAs and was surrounded by NVA troops. Covey responded, "You're not a doctor, nor for that fact a medic. You can't determine who's dead or alive. Bring out all bodies for verification of death." Then, more than 100 NVA regulars opened fire on St. Alabama as enemy troops had reinforced the initial ambush unit. By now, the NVA were 2 rows deep. The front row fired AK-47s. The second row threw grenades or fired RPGs. Now that is a story from the book Across the Fence by John Stryker Meyer, also known as Tilt. It's a story of October 5th, 1968, a Special Forces SOG mission over the border into Laos. The story is also covered in the book Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, which is by Lynn Black, codename Black Jack. And for a variety of reasons, Lynn was not able to join us on the show, but through Tilt and his friends in the special operations community, we are absolutely honored to have with us tonight Cowboy Doan, a Vietnamese soldier that fought for freedom alongside American Special Forces soldiers from SOG. Con, thank you for joining us. It's an honor to have you here.
It's my pleasure, sir.
And also joining us once again is John Stryker Meyer, the man himself, Tilt, a Special Forces soldier and member of SOG who has been on the podcast before. 180, 181, 182, 186, 247, and 248.
Good to be back, sir. Good to be here with Cowboy. Thank you.
Con, it's awesome to have you here. And so your nickname is Cowboy. How do we get the nickname Cowboy?
Okay, one mission, I have a code name for radio contact. They put me name Cowboy. And then a lot of guys going. I still survivor. So my American man, call me Cowboy from them.
It's a good name.
We always called him that in camp. Nobody called him Con. It was like, hey, Cowboy. We knew who Cowboy was.
Yeah, a little bit difficult to pronunciation or by American. Mm-hmm. So it's easy or, like for friends they say, hey, Cowboy, at all the time. Even my commanding officer, Bill Shelton or Major Snell.
Right.
When we get information, every single morning, call me Cowboy. So everybody will know who I was. And
well, that's awesome. Before you became Cowboy, let's go back to your where you're from, where you grew up, what that was like. A lot of Americans, we don't know what that's like growing up in Vietnam. So what year were you born?
I was born from North Vietnam. The Ninh Binh provided, and then I was very young. I don't know anything. But 1954, my family moved to the south in order the communists took over North Vietnam. We immigrated to the south, and we lived in Saigon for 2 years. My family moved up to Dallas City. Dallas is high central. Mm-hmm. That's very nice city.
Beautiful,
and the weather is like just normal, and you can see Dallas like the young lady, like 19 or 20 years old. You like it. So we live in there.
What was it like before you left? What was it like when the communists came and took over
the North Vietnam?
Yeah. What was that like for your family? What did they do? What did that seem like? What happened?
I don't know because I was young, but I understand after that the communists want to kill everybody, and they want to collect property from their citizens to build like the Communist Party, and that's why my family moved from north to the south.
What was your father's job? What did he do?
Actually, I still don't understand what he did. He only the businessman.
But he was in the business of business.
Businessman.
Yes.
And he moved down to the south. He business, but inside, the back rice, the gun in there. But I don't know who he was.
Okay.
And sometimes he be the taxi driver
Okay.
and motorcycle driver to take care of the people. But I understand, like he's spy. No, he work undercover anywhere, anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And 1963, President Ngô Jim, you know him?
He was assassinated.
before Kennedy.
Before Kennedy,
Right.
yes. And I strong believe it. He worked with him. And after revolution from the Vietnamese army, they put my father in jail because he worked for the old government. He worked for the President Jim. At that time I was like the 12 years old or 13 years old. I still don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I visit him, the time he was in jail, I learned something. I learned something about him. And I'm thinking about, what I'm trying to do to pay back the people, did to my father.
Mm-hmm.
And then he in jail. But he very smart man. He told me American gonna go to Vietnam. When I was young, I studied French. And then when he in jail, he say, "Hey, I better learn English because he understand American gonna come to Vietnam and study. I'm studying English at the time. Lucky for me, my family very close to the USIT, that means Vietnamese American Association. So I study from them. And then my father still in jail. And my family, the economic, it going down a lot. So I try to survive by myself and for my family. And I'm very lucky when I study English. My teacher is American. He understands my situation and my family. And he advised me to join to the army. And I don't know about him too, but he's a very nice guy.
Uh-huh. Meaning you don't know what his actual job was?
He only teacher.
Just a teacher.
Just a teacher. But I thought in my mind, he was,
You do extra work for the government sometimes.
CIA something.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He gotta go, to pick up who's the bad guy or who's the good guy. Because in the class, he all the time asks where your family, what happened, or a situation my family.
Mm-hmm.
How about the money? How about how do we survive? He learned from us a lot, from the student. And I believe, after that, he pick up the student to become, the employee for the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I talk right now.
Oh, so he was a recruiter looking for good people that will do a good job fighting for the South
people
Vietnamese.
And good man, or do something, or smart man. That's the way I'm talking about my teacher.
So when he told you to join the army, how did you feel about that idea?
Oh, he showed me the movie. PT 109. Yeah, PT 109.
Yeah.
About JFK?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And in the class, he showed the movie. He said, "You want to be John F. Kennedy?" I said, "Why not?" and not only one time he asked me a lot. And he know something going on to my family, and he can read what I gonna do. He say, just join to the army. But I say, I don't know anything about it. That's what he told. And he called my friend, another friend, and say, take him to the join with the special force. I say, what the hell is special force? The people crazy? Because the Vietnam War, we understand situation like it, you know now the Marine, or you know Coast Guard, you know like infantry, you like airborne, so you know who's the one, which one the hero. And I don't know anything about it. Say, try it. And they written letter to Saigon, to Pastor, to SOG
headquarters.
Yeah, headquarters
on Pastor Street in Saigon.
Pastor Street, Saigon.
Yes.
And I said, yeah, I go.
So how old were you at this time?
At 17. 17.
Yeah.
And what year was it?
1966.
So 1966, you're 17 years old, and they send a letter to SOG telling that they've got a good recruit.
Good recruit. And he speaks English. And as a hot commodity, we needed good English speakers, interpreters.
Did you have any idea what you were getting into?
No.
No.
No. I don't know, but you know, when we got young, we were gonna be hero. We were gonna be, you know, like it stronger more than another one.
Like JFK.
So I just join it like it JFK, John F. Kennedy, can do everything. You see, during other time, you know, he from this one, he swim to another Iceland. I love it.
Saved his man.
Yes.
Took his man in, saved him.
Handsome guy.
Yes.
I like him very much. So that's why I'm joining.
So what was your view of America at that time? You must have had a pretty positive view of America. You knew you were going to join the Army and you were going to support the American efforts there.
I don't pay attention to anything. I just want to join and join. Do it, whatever they need to me to do it. And he's, you know, my man, actually, you know, on behalf of my father, you know, most of them, like a Ton, Hai, Cow, everybody in my village, I mean the county.
We're talking about the Nungs, the Chinese.
Okay.
So they know who I was. They know who am I. So they work together. We work together at all the time in the camp. So that's why I can go with the Frenchman team.
Right, on Virginia.
I go with the Rhode Island team. I go with the Mississippi team.
Alaska before it becomes
Alaska.
Alabama.
I go anywhere because they say, hey, Cowboy, he's a good man. We need to learn from him. So that's why, you know, I like to go with them because on behalf, you know, the attitude, my family and my father to their family. So we work together a lot of time. Even one day I just, you know, vacation. I went on vacation. He say, hey, Cowboy, tomorrow I gotta go. You gotta go with me. I said, yes, I do. And then I quit my vacation. I go with the team. So to training each other, to learning from each other. I'm not saying, you know, I'm a good man, but my experience. When I was young, I'm in younger. With my family, we work farmer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm, you know,
strong.
Skinny, but strong.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, I'm thought, we gotta do it. You can see it, my hand here, scar.
Mm-hmm.
I can catch the bullet. Throw back to the enemy. So they
catching bullets, Cowboy catching bullets. Got the scars to prove it.
Okay, see here, I got a wounded here. I got a wounded everywhere in my body, but I still survive. And
I'll tell you, you're lucky you were skinny, because if you were any bigger, those bullets would have hit worse spots.
yeah, you're right.
You were hard to shoot at.
Yeah, you're right. Not big like him. When I saw him, the first I saw now to him, he said, "Hey, this guy too big." And his foot long.
That's what Sal said.
Yeah. Normally, American, the big guy, like you and like him. But, when we there, we very skinny and a small one.
Mm-hmm.
Like 120 pound or 110 pound. Look at, hey, that's a baby Shan, right?
Right.
That American call my people, the baby Shan.
Little people.
Yeah, little people.
Yeah. Affectionate term.
Yeah. But you grew up in the jungle. So
Yeah.
for you, being in the jungle was just normal. That's just nothing
normal.
to get used to. That's the way you lived. That's the way you grew up. So that's a real advantage.
Yes.
And he spoke English.
Unlike the round eye over here.
The city slicker.
I can honor to tell you, we can smell fishy. Just smell. Because when we go land down the jungle,
Mm-hmm.
they got a flower, right? They got to plant the rice, or they got to plant all kind of thing in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
We know, we can imagine, say, what they gonna do, where they live it, and where their postguard, where the hospital, and we can smell it.
Mm-hmm.
And then my sixth sense can understand how communist activity there. They can grow up, they can do anything, because we local people.
Right.
That's
We
why
understand.
that's why the Green Berets love our indigenous people.
Yeah.
The Nungs, like he said, he could smell. They had the extra sense that we never had, particularly somebody like me, a city slicker. That's why people like him are number one, and they kept us alive.
Mm-hmm.
In the jungle, we yielded to them. They always ran point, not us, and they got us out
Because
of
we
trouble.
local people there, and we can smell different, like the bird, quack, or chicken, quack.
Mm-hmm.
We can comparison right away. Inside the jungle, if you see it quiet, that means nobody moved.
Right. That's a problem.
That's a problem.
The trouble
Okay.
is close.
We understand exactly right. I always say, hey, keep your fucking head down. I'm sorry. The
It's
bad
okay.
language, but that's the truth.
Sometimes people need to keep their fucking heads down.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
That's the fucking truth.
But it's true. I'm not tell you lie,
Yes.
And then
What was the training like that you went through to get you ready to work with the Special Forces team? Did you go into the regular army? Did they process you into the regular army, or did they just take you up to one of the CN or something?
Camp,
and just,
Camp Duck, which was you first went to Camp Duck. That was the first SOG training base, was up I-Corps, and Camp Duck was open. Had bad weather, but that's where they did the initial training with
next
our
to
indigenous
Lao
troops.
border.
Yeah, very close to the border.
and how long did they train you for?
Long time. Even now, when they send you there, you're free to do. It means not in the law, not in the morning, wake up 6 o'clock, whatever they needed to train it, they call you. 1 or 2 a.m. or 1 or 2 p.m. And they let you free. I mean, tomorrow we gotta go range.
Arranged many times.
Yeah, range. And then, what do you think when you got young? The first time you carry a gun, we got it like a 10, box of the bullet.
Right.
We go there, we shoot it free.
Mm-hmm.
Only my friend say, hey, how to
Work the
How to
weapon.
work
clean
the
the
weapons.
weapon, how to work the weapon, and then next day we gotta go ranger to fire.
How to clean the weapon at night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Were you carrying an AK or were you carrying a Car 15?
Okay, the first thing when I joined that, only carbine.
Okay.
And then later, carabiner M1 and M2. And then after that, they changed to Sweden K.
Swedish
Oh,
K.
the Swedish K.
Right.
Sweden K, and then Stan.
Oh, the stand.
The stand gun had both.
Stan the light, silent,
The magazine out the
Stan,
side.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And later on, we moved to the Fubai. We used the M16, AR-15,
And then the car 15.
and then M16,
Right.
and then car 15.
Because they were hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
But we training every weapon, like a mortar, 82, 60, put on, right here
On the leg, yeah.
to punch to the enemy.
Sure.
We train whole kind of weapon, or B40, M72.
And were these special forces, American special forces soldiers that you guys were in charge, or some group was in charge of training?
Yes, that was
them?
at Camp Duck. It was the first camp, so many early SOG guys were there. And that was part of the recruitment that came through Saigon. And that's why Cowboy ended up there. And it was training, and plus the camp was so close to the border, you had self-defense at night.
Yes.
Oh,
There
okay.
would be prods, and the NVA attacked the camp several times prior to May '68 when the camp got overrun.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole book about that called Bait. And after that, they closed Camp Duck. And by that time, Alabama was already at FOB-1 when they closed Camp
we
Duck.
moved Camp Duck, and then we jump over to
Yeah, so
FOB-1.
I get there in May of '68, late in May. McIntyre and these guys came in with his team. And of course, you want to tell them about Alaska.
Alaska, yes.
Yeah, what happened with ST Alaska?
They blow out.
Everybody was killed except for the 1-0, John Allen, who escaped. And he needed for 2 days, and one of the helicopter pilots brought him back, and he said, "We want to change the name of the team." They changed it from Alaska to Alabama, and then Tim Schaff was the 1-0 when they were training.
John Allen
first.
Davis,
I forgot about Davis. Yes.
John Allen, and then Tim Sharp, and then
October
FOB-1
5th.
closed. FOB-1 closed.
Yeah, later.
We gotta go Da Nang, FOB-4,
Right. CCN. But that was after we closed FOB-1. But this is like, May was a very incremental month.
So was that where you first checked in? You went to Alaska, or had Alaska just become Alabama?
Yes, the first.
The only reason why you didn't go on a mission, it was his turn to miss the mission, or he would have been on that mission with Alaska. Right?
No, I'm from the Hatchet Forks.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you started with the Hatchet Force.
Yeah, Hatchet Forks. We work, like at the platoon or company, to go with after the team got a contact to the enemy, and the people from the recon go down to the Hatchet Fork looking who's the bad, who's the good, and they say, "Hey, Cowboy, you want to be recon team?" I say, "Why not? I try my best."
Yeah.
And the first thing I came to the team, recon team, I scanned everybody, looking, bad guy, looking.
Because the Nungs are taller than the other Vietnamese on the team.
And the people say, "Hell, okay, try your best." And then I joined to the team. At the time of that, Alaska is burned out. They blow out. And when I joined they got to rebuild the team. And I say, "Hey, Alaska is no good. Too many goals because too many people die. So we need to change the name."
Mm-hmm.
And change to Alabama. And then we worked with it, Alabama, until FOB-1 closed. We came to Da Nang, CCN. In CCN, they got an Alabama team there too. So my name got changed to Indiana.
Okay.
That was early '69, after they closed FOB-1.
And Tilt was telling me about one time when you were getting taken out on strings, and somehow you ended up upside down or something like that.
Yes.
For the Swiss.
just normal thing. But I remember we had a contact with the enemy, but we cannot move out to the LG. We inside the jungle, and then the chopper came in, throw out the rope, one of each. We got a rope, different rope.
Mm-hmm.
But tactical for shape for the team, 4 guys come up, pick up the rope to hang it up, and another 4 guys still, keep them safety.
Right.
Security.
Keep shooting,
security.
right.
And then after the chopper left, pull out the 4 guys, we came over. And then another 4 rope, throw it down. We try to hook it up. But John Allen, another 2 Vietnamese guy, hook up the rope. When I turn over, I try to hook myself into my rope. But I look it up. The tree here, the rope would turn over.
Oh.
The tree. So what happened? What we gonna do? I say, hey, Alan, look it up. And then, we got a stable rig. We don't have a stable rig at the time.
Just a Swiss seat.
Yeah, we have a 3 row to 1 for seat and 1 for here and then another 2 for seat.
Right.
And John Allen saw it. He gave me one from him.
Oh.
If I hook it up, the chopper gonna cut it down, and I drop it back to the plane. I gonna die, and then they pull up. I only one string in here.
Wow. With the D ring holding you in.
Yeah. In here, and when they going up like at the 1,000 feet or 2,000 feet something, and then I got a rucksack here. I got a gun. I got my weapon here.
Yes.
And then it going down, turn over to here, to my knee.
You're upside down there.
Yeah, upside down.
I know that feeling.
And then John Allen want to warp it, but the wind cannot be together at the time. So when I warp it, it's going down to my ear.
To your feet.
Going down here, yeah.
Yes.
But luckily, we got a jungle boot. The form the jungle boot.
Yes.
It's still tight here, and I all the way down.
So you were hanging on the rope by just your ankle and your jungle boot.
And his jungle boot. Yeah.
Whew. And then John Allen stood up. Because we got a flare gun, right? We would shoot flare gun.
Yes.
And the chopper still float. And we understand that we thought they might not know something
that you're upside down.
Yes.
So John Allen was shooting the flare gun to try and get the helicopter pilots to realize what was happening.
To looking down, but
they did.
The communists underground. So how do we do? So it flew, still flew, and then my body up and down, and until we close to the Fubai, and the chopper drop us down. When I lie down on the ground, I still understand. I'm looking down to my gun. The magazine is empty. I change the magazine, lock and load again, and do it. And then the pilot coming down to pick me up to the put inside the chopper.
Right.
And I don't know anything anymore.
Because you're unconscious.
Yes.
Jeez.
I mean, from there to the Fubai, Bruce Johnson, You know Bruce Johnson?
Right, yes,
Yeah.
the medic.
And the
'Cause by
medic-
that time, he was unconscious, and the medic was Bruce Johnson on that mission or in the helicopter.
No,
he came out.
he inside the camp.
Okay, he died. And Bruce, what did he do? His elbow in your chest to get your heart going?
But I still know everything, even I die.
Wow.
And then Bruce Johnson shoot the gun. Hey, medic! And the car coming in,
Yes.
pick me up to the 85th hospital.
Right.
And on the way, he tried to wake me up. He used the elbow. When I lie down here, punch in here, you can see the bone coming out right here.
Mm.
One,
Yeah, Bruce
2,
was our medic,
3.
and so he died 3 times. And Bruce told us about that years later, about
Yes,
how
sir.
he brought him back to life, and they thought he was dead. They took him down to the field hospital right there at Fubai.
Say, hey, I beat you up. You don't wake up. You gotta die, buddy.
You say, I love you very much.
Yes,
Yeah.
he loved me very much. That's what he told me. But I don't know anything. But I remember what he taught. I remember who got the thing, but I cannot do anything. Then I die for something, and then they brought me to the hospital. Doctor say, hey, can't do anything to me anymore. But
Do you remember hearing the doctor say that they can't help you anymore?
Yes, that I still alive. Even I don't do anything. I can't do anything. The people thought I'm dead, but myself I still alive.
Wow.
I hear what you say. I know something going on. Knock something. I live in there.
You feel Bruce on your chest.
Yeah, even he beat in my chest right here. Right here. You can see the bone here.
There it is. Those special forces medics, man, they're relentless. They'll do anything to keep you alive.
Yes.
Yes.
Everything.
Yeah.
The first thing he put in here, hey, cowboy, wake up, grab it. He almost cry. I know that, but I can't do anything.
Upside
And
down
then-
a long time.
And then after he tried to wake me up by this one, and then elbow. You see how big the bruise, right?
Oh, yeah.
But
He was in shape then.
yeah, so
Yeah.
after that, about 2 hours, 3 hours, I think 3 hours.
I forget.
3 hours. My team came back club, alcohol. And he said, "Hey, Cowboy, good man.
Yeah.
We gotta bring him back." Everybody drunk. John Allen can't cry. Took the jeep,
Right.
drew up to the hospital, point the gun to the doctor, say, "You better take care of him, or you die."
So John Allen went to the doctor and brought a gun and said, "You either take care of our boy Cowboy."
Sometimes the American doctors there were reluctant. John Walton did that, had the same problem after his mission in August. And with Cowboy, they heard they weren't getting the right treatment. The 1-0 went right down there, and they addressed the doctor. Because they had a policy, no indigenous people at the hospital.
Oh, okay.
And that's what they were up against. And our team leaders had to get a little aggressive
had
in
to
getting
solve that
treatment.
problem.
Well, in this case, it was a car 15.
Yeah, we got who got the thing.
Yeah, with John Walton, he just
Well,
threatened to beat him.
Okay, you MP right now, right? In the front of my chest, claim on my
Oh,
car 15, hand grenade.
Yeah.
What do you think? What will you do?
yeah, I'm gonna do whatever you want me to do. Actually,
They came up to the hospital saying, "You better take care of Cowboy." And my friend, the people drunk, cry, miss me. I hear that, but I can't do anything.
Mhm.
And Meyer, you give me a coffee, you give me smoke, and then I don't know. maybe they put the hot water into my mouth, and I feel something go through here, and then I wake up, say, hey, what the hell going on here?
Where's the party?
And then later hour, we come back to camp.
This is all before October 5th.
Yeah. Did I hear right that you had a relative that was also?
Yeah. Well, his wife's brother was on ST Idaho when Idaho got wiped out in May of '68.
That was your wife's
brother.
Yes.
Brother.
Yes.
I have two brothers. One up the got a POW at the Langway, and another one with the Idaho team.
And Langway was the aid camp that got overrun on Tet when he had the NVA tank, and they captured some of our people as well as some of the indigenous people that took them back as POWs. That family paid a high price.
Jeez. How often? So now it's 19. How long were you in the job for?
The total time from 66 to 72. In 66 to middle up to 67, the time is for training. In 67, I'm joined to the Alabama team till to August 72. I lost my leg.
Wow. And so these guys, you're going out the whole time. You're just going out on mission.
Yes.
No, I mean, other way, maybe you go back to town, get a little break for a week or something, a month, but most of the time it's just work.
Yes, sometimes, like yes, I just count a month for one mission. Total time. Sometimes only 10 days, sometimes 1 month, 3 times. So that's why we receive the money, get paid for 2 times or 3 times. Okay, for example, on the first day of the month, we take the money, we go downtown for 2-3 days. And after 2-3 days,
we have no more money left.
Mission.
Many missions.
Mission. I say, okay, we go. And we stand by there for a week because the weather or whatever, some reason we cannot go. And then we went there, but the SOG law, right? When we come up to the LG, the communists shoot up. We came back. Mm-hmm. We're not jumping down. And then after a few days, 1-0, we gotta go past. He say, okay, for 1 day. And, I try to do it. He understand it. No money. he took to the S1 to get the money. And then we on pass for 2 days or whatever weekend. We came back because the reason we stand by for that target, we cannot go, the long trip like go Saigon or Dalat.
Just go away.
Yes, and then come back for the mission again. We come up there because the weather or whatever. For after a week, we cannot go at the weekend. I say.
That's why it's October 5th. It's the beginning of the month. They got through the payday, and the weather broke because we'd had rains and at the end of the monsoon season.
We stand by for the target for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 1 month. A lot of reason we cannot go there. Weather or the community activity underground. I bet, when we went out the mission, everybody know, even the Pentagon or even the headquarters Asia.
Headquarters in Saigon, then the White House.
Saigon or whatever.
We had an attaché at the White House.
We work together. I think so. So that's why. But I cannot remember how many mission I gotta go. I cannot remember.
Too many, because you're busy.
Yes.
You didn't write a diary. You couldn't write a diary.
No. We can't do anything. We can say, hey, I go there. But when we receive the mission, like the 10 say, hey, we gotta go outside. We understand outside.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta go DMV. We know the DMV. Or we gotta go Laos. We know. We gotta go Cambodia, Thailand, and Vietnam. The border. We know situation from them because we learn from training from the north move to the south. They got so many secret zones from the communists, and we know when they move from the north to the south how they working on it. Our people very too heavy. Like a rucksack, like a web gear, who got it? Like 100 pounds or more than 100 pounds, right?
Yes, close to it, yes.
But the communists, they don't wear anything. Just AK-47 and AK vest. Because they live in there, they don't need food. They don't need carry water, they don't need carry food with them. Because they live in there, like in my house. We came down there, we carried things heavy. Then we learn from them. We know how their activity. But our job is protect this guy. he told big. And we easy to move.
Mm-hmm.
And we easy to understand them. But from here, he came to Vietnam. In the jungle, he can't do anything.
Young and dumb.
But, they good. Good more than us.
So
they smart more than us.
We learned from the Vietnamese.
So on this mission on October 5th, the helicopter puts you guys on the ground. You're getting shot at before you land. One of the helicopters then gets shot up and crashes. And the 10 says we're still going.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. When we came down, the first chopper, it made me, Jim Stryker, and another two Vietnamese. We gotta go, night guy. We came down. The communist way, we dropped down to the ground. They shoot it up. And we are not surprised about it because we understand the situation.
Did you see the flag that was flying?
Yes.
The NVA flag?
Yes. NVA flag.
Oh, there's an NVA flag?
Yeah.
That has to be a little bit of a warning sign.
That's why Lynn argued with the 10 saying that flag is just at least 3,000 people here and we're 9.
The flag, according from the flag, we can make it out like the North Division, like a regime, like a 3,000 guy on the ground. We understand that 3,000.
Beaucoup.
We understand beaucoup.
Yeah.
Then Lynn Black tried to get down. They got shot. And then King Bee leap up. And another King Bee, they got a tactical from the chopper. They land this way, down this way, land this way, down this way, and shoot another place to make it difficult for communist adjustment where we going down.
Right.
And then another chopper, that means H-34, it burn out, drop it out.
Crashed.
Yes, crash. But, we help on the ground, help up the chopper. What you gonna do? We gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lynn Black dropped down. When we dropped down, that the plane LG, we gotta move to the jungle right way to hide. And we gotta very quick briefing. Say, what you gonna do next? According from the pack walking up the
Covey.
Covey.
Pat Watkins was flying Covey at that,
Okay, got
when
it.
they did the insertion.
And we got a briefing with them. The pack walking say, if the team want an attraction, you have a right to do it. But Jim Stryker, the big guy,
The 1-0 said no.
said no. Because he thought, well, we're very strong. But he forgot to understand that not in there. 3,000 guys there.
Mm-hmm.
And not our homeland. They're the communist land, right?
And Laos.
Yes. And then I say,
So continue to march.
yeah, that's what he said. And then Lynn Bright told me,
Let's go. We should go back.
and he said, and then we go.
Yeah, that was the last wrong decision he made in his life.
Yes. And we moved about like 15 feet. We show, the postcard from the communists. Lynn Black forgot to tell you, we found the AK-47 magazine.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. And then we found, the raincoat.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, from the communists.
Yes.
And the tree they seated, very clean. So I understand,
They were sitting there watching.
They sit there for the photograph from the communists.
There's an LZ watch stand.
Oh,
They had a lot of those set up at different LZs that were, because there's only so many in Laos at that point. So they had LZ watchers, and they had some that were beginning to get platforms, and that's one of the first ones I forgot about.
Yes, you forgot about.
But they had the platform. That's what he's talking about. They saw it. So in addition, they knew that they were compromised by the gunfire. They saw the platform, so he had to go back, and yet the 1-0 said, go down the trail.
With the helmet, the communist hat.
Pith helmet.
Yes.
What was the 1-0's background right now, like in this operation?
He had come from Germany.
So
he had been assigned to Germany. He had stateside duty, but he'd never been to Vietnam. So he was not familiar with working with our Vietnamese counterparts, listening to people like Cowboy, and listening to Lynn. Lynn had a whole year experience in combat. And so he was one of these old school guys. I'm the leader. We're going to do this. Mm-hmm. And that was the last bad decision he made in his life. Took the team into it.
I still told him.
Yeah.
And then we're not, going out the trail.
Sure.
Anymore. We go by in the jungle.
So when you're down that trail,
that's a big mistake.
Yes.
That never happened.
Would you guys ever have situations where the team would look at the 1-0 and say, no, we're not doing that?
Well, that's what they had there. And the 1-0 overruled them. And most of the times, we would listen to our indigenous people, our little people. If they said don't go, there's a reason. And that's just the mutual respect we had for them.
Yeah.
Particularly once you're on the ground. So it's just a matter of the rapport between. This was a new team that come together, and they had just taken the experienced 1-0 off, who had combat experience. He had many missions. Tim Schaaf was the 1-0 prior, because the other person, Jim Stride, was more rank. Mm-hmm. They appointed him the team, and they told Tim to give him another team.
Yeah, this is why when you're in a leadership position, you listen to people.
As
you listen to your team. I mean,
correct.
This is why. There's nothing. If you let your ego get in the way and you say, I'm going to let these people tell me what to do, it's like, okay, it doesn't work out well. You got to stay humble as a leader.
Yeah, any leadership class, if you want to show what you shouldn't do, this is a classic example.
But we don't have a training with him.
No.
And you never even trained with him?
No.
Yeah.
We're training the Hyven Pass.
Right.
And then
you're out on the island with Tim Schaff, and they had that pre-training mission where they were out there.
Pre-training for the mission. But the
this is with Tim Schaff was
okay,
a
so a different 1-0.
Right.
Yeah,
so
this
Tim's
is just
experience.
this is bad all the way across the board.
And this is the one where the Navy saved ST Alabama because they were on this training mission, and they had a lot of. It's an area where you had Viet Cong and NVA.
But Thailand before. But Thailand.
Yeah.
NVA.
And so they got into a world of trouble there, a world of shit with them
on a training mission.
And the NVA drove them down to the South China Sea from their high ground because they had higher ground. Drove them down, and Lynn fortunately had a frequency for the Navy, and one of the Navy, not a PT boat, but a boat that had two or three 50 calibers on it, and they came in and picked the team up. Otherwise, they would have been wiped out, right on a training mission.
It's a rough training mission.
It was. Cowboy wasn't happy about that either.
No, I like it because it's free, you know. You can go.
Yeah, now.
Fishing.
Let me pick this back up from the book on this mission on October 4th. So where we left off, on October 5th, where this left off was the NVA are 2 rows deep. The front row firing AK-47s, the second row throwing grenades and firing RPGs. And then I'm going to pick this back up. It says another Vietnamese ST Alabama team member was wounded. The team had to get out of the hole or die in it. The bold NVA told the ST Alabama members to Chu Hoi, or surrender, speaking first in French, English, and finally Vietnamese. ST Alabama's weapons drowned out further Chu Hoi requests. The 1-1. So they asked you to surrender and you shot at them. And the Chu Hoi was a whole program, right? It was a whole program to get people to switch sides.
Right.
From
we had a Chu Hoi, and then they knew the program, so they used the same word, surrender. And ST Alabama answered it in fine style with the Car 15.
With one hand grenade, one magazine. Throw it out. That answer to them.
Yeah. Then it says the 1-1 continued to pray. So the 1-1 got, he kind of lost it a little bit.
Totally.
And he was curled up in a ball. He was putting his face in the sand, and he was trying to pray.
I can tell.
Got it.
Because he on my team.
Got it.
He was on my team. I need to protect him. He need to protect me.
Yeah.
He on my team.
Well, it says here Black couldn't believe it. And Black says, "This is no time to pray. Do unto others before they do unto you," he yelled. Whether or not the NVA soldiers were praying, they continued to move around ST Alabama, some climbing into trees. Cowboy and Black crawled 15 feet toward them, close enough so that Cowboy heard the NVA commander tell his troops to prepare to charge ST Alabama's position. So you actually heard their commander give the order, prepare to charge.
Yes, sir.
The commander also told his troops on the long side of the L ambush not to fire. Black quickly rigged a Claymore mine in the direction of the pending charge. The fearless NVA mounted a charge toward ST Alabama with AK-47s on full automatic. Black detonated the Claymore mine. It blew a huge hole in the NVA ranks. Before the smoke cleared, ST Alabama ran through the human carnage, firing Car 15s on full automatic and throwing M26 frag grenades while dragging their 3 wounded team members. Miraculously, ST Alabama made it through the NVA wave of attackers and moved back towards the LZ, leaving their dead behind.
We tried to bring them out with us, but we could. I tried to move up to rub the hand, the dead man. AK-47. I gotta move back. I'm climb back, going up. You know, the strike hit the big guy.
Too big.
Hit the fast guy.
Book him up.
And I tried to climb over, and when they shoot it, hit to the strike body. And I can feeling his body shake when he hit the bullet.
Wow.
So you're trying to drag his body, and his body is getting shot.
Yeah.
I understand exactly when I told them I lost. But they never listen. He never listened to me. Even there, I heard, hey, communists say, ambush. Don't kill them. That means don't kill us.
Oh, because they wanted to capture you.
They want to capture. And then I do it a lot.
So, for those of you that are just listening to this, Cowboy keeps giving the hand signal for, hey, we need to circle up and get out of here. Get the helicopters and get out of here. That's what you're giving the hand signal the whole time.
Yeah.
Jumper.
Get the king bees.
Up. And then he never listened to me.
I know.
He said, go. He, the point man, the Vietnamese team leader here, and Jim Stryker, back up him. And then Lynn Black,
right?
Another the M79 here. He said, "Go." You know the rule from the team. The first man get up. First step, second step, third step. Another man stand up.
Okay.
And step to the booth where the first man is step. And he stand up. I saw him because I hate him. He said no. A lot of time, but he never listened to me. And first step, he going down. Second step, third step, I hear the bullet, and he down. I turn around. I'm not stay there for save my life. I gotta turn around, and then the big tree, I lay there. And the communists shoot again. Because we're very close, like here to here.
What, 10 feet?
I thought no more than 10 feet.
Mm.
Wow.
No more than 10 feet. The bush, he living there. And then when I try to move in to get it, like the SOA map, and then the thing for survival in his pocket.
Survivor radio.
And the radio,
the ERC-10.
radio SOI, right? SOI radio frequency. I try to took out everything in his body, given to Lynn, given to Black, and try to take him out. I say, hey, strike. If nothing happened, what will you do? I try to climb up, and they shoot me again. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky because, his body is very big. When I try to move it, especially the deployment, that too. So what are we gonna do? We can't do anything. But when later on, the team leader in here, the gun, point like to his head, but he didn't see it. Like here, his head here, the AK-47 gun right here. And the communist afraid when he shoot it, we gotta find out where he is. And then observation, I say, hey, AK-47 pointed the lock here. And he say, and hit the lock
right,
down,
the point man.
Hit down, going down here. And he shoot the communist, dropped out the AK-47 here. So you never know it from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
How do we survive? And up and in my mind, we got a training in camp. We say, one hand grenade, one magazine. That means you have a hand grenade and you have a magazine. When we throw down hand grenade, we cannot throw it too far. We throw it down, it means clear communists around us. One hand grenade, one magazine. When we throw the grenade too close, we afraid the communists pick up the grenade, throw it back. So that's why we got it. One hand grenade, one magazine. And we throw the grenade, and we got a single shot. Ping, ping, ping. Be sure the communists keep their head down. They don't have a time to looking to pick up the grenade.
You don't want to play catch with a hand grenade.
I said, one hand grenade, one fucking hand grenade, one fucking magazine. And because we AI drill in home, right?
Right.
And we throw the grenade, ping, ping, ping.
So that helped to get you guys out of that hole then. That's what he was talking about at that point.
We don't have the communists they don't have a time to thinking what we gonna do. And then after my magazine is empty, he shoot it up. Ding, ding, ding. How the communists doing? Nothing. Can't do anything. And then when we clear around us. And another wave. One grenade, one magazine. And then we got a big company. Because everybody want throw the one grenade. What do you think? What do you hear? Boom, 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 boom. So they scare us. How we fighting. So that's why we try to clear around us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we be safety at the time.
Meanwhile, going back to the book, Covey says the King Bees had to return to Phu Bai to refuel. No extraction was possible for at least 2 to 3 hours.
That bad luck.
Meanwhile, the relentless and bloodied NVA ran after the Spike team. Black planted a Claymore mine with a 5-second time delay fuse. It wreaked havoc on the hard-charging NVA. As the smoke cleared and the body parts settled back to the earth, ST Alabama split in half again and charged through the battered, torn ranks of the NVA warriors, killing any standing enemy. They counted at least 50 NVA dead. Again, eerie silence engulfed the team, and ST Alabama regrouped. Just as suddenly, a new wave of NVA soldiers rushed the beleaguered team. ST Alabama had been pushed near the cliff. It was 1,000 feet to the ground if they went over the edge. Now online, ST Alabama charged through the weakest NVA flank, killing more enemy soldiers. So you guys are... There's 1,000-foot cliffs? There's 1,000-foot cliffs that you guys are up against?
Yeah, jump off the cliff or go charge the NVA.
You believe it or not, but it's happened.
Yeah.
And then, so you guys, this is an important lesson for people, is every time you guys are put into a tough situation, you go on the attack. You attack through the flank. You attack through the ambush. And right here, ST Alabama charged through the weakest NVA flank.
And they did that several times. I mean, that's what the NVA, they're not used to recon teams charging.
Yeah.
And that's what saved their lives at that point.
Yeah, that's even the Vietnam guys that taught us when I was a young SEAL. They would say, if you get caught in an ambush, you have to attack them. If you stay there, you're just going to die. So you have to attack.
Exactly. If we not attack them, they're going to run over us. So we're going to attack them. And that they scanny, we can run over to them.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly about.
I'm continuing on here. Something hit Black on the side of the head, knocking him to his knees. He was scrambling to get up when the grenade went off. The last thing he remembered was being slammed into a tree face first and the car 15 handle digging into his chest. So somebody hit him in the head with a grenade.
Yeah, we don't know where that from. But lucky for him, that from the China.
It was a Chinese hand grenade.
They're poorly made.
Yes.
They make it by themselves in the jungle.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was like a homemade grenade.
Wow.
He thought he was drowning, but then he felt feet kicking him and hands slapping him all over. It was the team. They were beating Black back into consciousness and pouring water on his face. He tried to get up, but his legs didn't work. From the knees down, there were no fatigue pants, just surface bleeding. One of the guys started smearing gelatinized rice on the 1-2's legs, arms, and chest. Black's web gear and what was left of his fatigue jacket were lying shredded bloody on the ground. The car 15 was bent where the barrel meets the receiver, and the bolt couldn't be pulled back. One of the team buried it. By 0900, word of ST Alabama's precarious position had spread through FOB 1 like wildfire. wildfire. Requests were made for an extra assets. It was now an official prairie fire emergency. All aircraft were pulled from their missions and sorties to support St. Alabama. Any gunships attached to SOG were summoned to their aid. The first gunships to arrive were Marine Hueys, known as Scarface. With them was a CH-46 with a ladder attached for jungle extraction. When the twin-rotor helicopter entered the AO, it was hammered by heavy enemy ground fire, as were the Marine gunships. Green tracers were seen going toward the CH-46. The ground fire became too intense and the Marine chopper had to withdraw and make an emergency landing at Camp Eagle in the 101st Airborne Compound. Despite the hits, Scarface gunships made several passes, expending all ordnance before returning to base to reload. King B officers regrouped and prepared to fly back to Laos to extract what was left of St. Alabama. The S-3 asked for volunteers for a bright light mission, and every recon man in FOB-1 volunteered. St. Idaho was scheduled to insert into the Prairie Fire AO the next day, 6 October. Because the team was ready to go, there was some initial discussion about Idaho being the bright light team. As the day dragged on, however, and the perilous nature of St. Alabama's situation worsened, the bright light option faded because the original LZ was now too deadly for any helicopter to attempt an extraction. So were you in were you the 1-1?
Right. Yeah,
were you the 1-0 in ST?
1-1 at that point. Yeah, Don Wolken was the 1-0.
So you guys are going leg. We'll go now.
Yeah, we were getting ready for our mission on October 6th, and then we were all ready. They said, you guys are ready, so we're going to do the bright light. And then they changed their mind later because of all the intense fire, and another helicopter got shot down in the process. Unbelievable day.
So Watkins was the Covey?
Right, they rotated. Watkins, then when the Covey got low on fuel, then Spider Parks was there. And he got low on fuel, Pat went back. So they were both the two Covey guys that were there because they were really familiar with that target by that time.
So here we go. When Watkins, who's the Covey, returned to the FOB for the Cessna to refuel, he told the others that it didn't look good. He wasn't sure if they'd be able to get them out. He explained the low sunken area in the LZ, the spotty weather, and how smoke from the expended ordnance hung over the LZ, making it more difficult to spot the team and to deliver airstrikes accurately. A resupply of ammo, grenades, claymore mines, M79 rounds, water, bandages, and morphine was placed on a King B and launched towards St. Alabama. In Laos, Cowboy worked on Black's legs. He told Black that the last wave of NVA had continued onto the LZ. Cowboy and Black heard more U.S. Marine Huey gunships arrive overhead and witnessed the NVA on the LZ open fire, hammering the lead aircraft. Again, the 1-1 panicked, cried, and shouted skyward. The Vietnamese team members, speaking through Cowboy, told Black that they were going to kill the 1-1 if he didn't shut up. Black agreed. I'll pull the trigger myself. God forgive you, the 1-1 responded tearfully. You and your God have no place here, Black retorted. Cowboy grabbed the startled Black by the throat and lifted a Catholic crucifix from his neck and shoved his lips to it. It's the gods who have allowed us to get this far, round eye. Oh, so this is just a nightmare of a situation. What are you guys doing on the ground while all this close air support is coming in?
I can tell you, the first thing in here that when the blackdown, the water in the jungle, we cannot wave it, right?
Right.
But we still pour a whole kind of water to him to make him wake up. I mean, we don't know our situation. We don't know the water, how we don't know the water in the jungle. But we still do it because we love him very much. And the thing, I don't know how to tell you. But we gotta protect by God. Mm-hmm. At all the time.
Divine intervention.
Yes.
Maybe all that praying helped.
We only pray. Only pray. At the end of the way we go, or at the end of the thing in my mind, we shoot them, they shoot up. And then if the God not protect me, not protect our team member, we not stay here. That 100% for true. That's what I told you. I can tell you it. I can imagine the time he lie down, I'm crying. I say, hey, black. He only one, we can believe. One, I cannot tell anything. Because he can't do anything to the team. Even, we respect him a lot. But at the time, what should we do? In my mind, God protect us. Please. Because we have no change. We have nowhere to go. We can't do anything. They got 1,000. We have only few guys. Only 7 guys. Because we dead 2 already. And 3 wounded. I got a wounded myself. M79 wounded.
Black
wounded. M79 run out the ammo, the bullet, and almost we use a knife. But lucky for us, we can pick up the
AK-47.
The AK-47 and the weather from the communists, and we still protect. We can protect us on the ground. So I can tell you, because when that's all my heart, and all in my heart. Even James Stryker still back there. 2 or 3 Vietnamese bodies still back there. We can't do anything. When we ring up that, make me feel that depressed. I can only to tell you about. So I don't know why Meyer and me still alive in here. I don't know. That's a magic.
By the way, this isn't even over yet. This is not even close.
Yeah.
Going back to the book, the sound of the approaching king bees ended the religious debate as the realities of a surviving A-Shao hell became center focus. The able-bodied picked up the wounded and moved toward the LZ. Spider, the Covey rider at the time, told Black that the first king bee was en route to the LZ, but they planned to work the area surrounding ST Alabama with tactical air support first. In this case, an F-4 Phantom jet pilot told Black to key your handset for 10 seconds and put your head in the dirt. Black acknowledged his radio transmission and told his teammates to put their heads down. As he looked into the sun, he observed the slowest moving, full-flapped Phantom he had ever seen. The glide path ratio was critical. Seconds later, he saw the tree line across the LZ explode into sheets of white, yellow, and orange flames, setting the jungle on fire with napalm. The ship banked sharply, appearing to stand its wingtips on the ground. The pilot cranked the burners, dropped down into the valley below, and then began a vertical climb. NVA's small arms opened up on all sides of the valley. The F-4 took numerous hits on its armor-plated underbelly. Among those shooting at the fast mover were several NVA troops about 20 feet from ST Alabama's perimeter. As the napalm torched the jungle, dozens of NVA soldiers scurried into the open field to escape the instant inferno that engulfed their comrades. As a second jet rolled in for a gun run, the NVA initiated what they called getting close to the belt. In this case, the NVA soldiers moved toward or outright charged ST Alabama to get as close to the team members as possible to avoid being hammered or burnt by the Air Force, Marines, or Army Air Ordnance. Firing on single shot, ST Alabama picked off each of them as they came out of the burning jungle. The Phantoms returned with 2 cannon and minigun runs along the team's perimeter. Before the dust settled, the Vietnamese team leader Tho and Cowboy crawled out and recovered several AK-47s and precious ammunition from the dead enemy soldiers as their Car-15 ammo was dwindling to a few precious rounds. So you're crawling out and actually grabbing the enemy weapons and grabbing enemy ammunition.
From the dead soldiers.
Dead soldier. They lie out there, I pick it up. Deliver to another team member. Because in order to survive, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. We carry the body, enemy, make the chain back to protect our people too.
Using enemy bodies as sandbags to protect yourselves.
Yes.
It goes on here. 2 of the 9-cylinder King Bees came chugging up the valley toward St. Alabama. Black popped a green smoke marker. The NVA popped an identical smoke marker, confusing the pilots with devastating results. The first King Bee followed the NVA's smoke marker and took a direct hit from a rocket which toppled it on its side, smashing each rotor blade into the ground. The approaching St. Alabama team members narrowly missed getting hit with shrapnel from the crash. Black, Cowboy, and another team member charged the rocket position, killing the 3 NVA before a hail of NVA fire drove them back into the team perimeter. The second H-34 hit an outcropping of rock on the western side of the knoll. After taking heavy enemy gunfire, it exploded and fell 1,000 feet to the valley floor below, taking with it St. Alabama's resupply. Covey barked, "Nice going, Blackjack." "Fuck you, Covey," he replied. Cowboy told the 1-1 to pray for everyone except Black because he was going on the devil's side. Black broke into laughter as he assessed St. Alabama's predicament. Ammo was desperately low, the blood trails looked like slug slime, the F-4 Phantoms had expended their ordnance, and Covey was belligerent. His nerves were shot. Training and a man's basic survival instinct had completely taken over. Then the NVA bugles sounded. So at this point, this scene, you guys are running out of ammunition. You got 3 wounded. You got 2 dead. No, more than 2 dead. You're taking enemy weapons off the ground. You're building a bunker with enemy bodies. The helicopters finally show up to get you out of there, and they both get shot out of the sky.
Yes.
What do you think your chances are for survival at this point?
This only I can say that God protect us. No one can. No one can. Even not only to chop it down, we got a lot of support up the air, like a Phantom, like a Skyrider, like the CH-53 Charlie Green Giant. We can see the bird. You know, it's over the air all the time, but not only 2, a lot.
So you can actually see your air support. They're flying around, they're dropping bombs, they're dropping napalm, but it doesn't really help. I mean, the fact that you guys are on the ground, even though you can see them.
Yes, I can see it. And then enemy very scanny. And then we on the ground, we can point. Skyrider, bomb is in there. And then they very scanny. That's why we survive. Another reason that.
In this day, God came in the form of close air support.
Yeah,
absolutely. A1 Sky Raiders were next on.
You can see that. Keep your fucking head down.
Yeah.
That means bomb neck to me.
Yeah.
Bomb neck to me.
Yeah.
Because they up the air. They know where we are. You know, in the head, we got a panel.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We turn over.
Yep.
So the airplane can see where we were.
Right. We used to do the same thing.
Yes.
Oh, is that right?
Yep. That's another thing the Vietnam guys taught us. Inside of our floppy hat, we would sew an air panel in there so we could flip it over and let the helicopters or gunships know where we were.
I should have worn a floppy hat.
What were you wearing?
My little bandana.
You're too cool for the floppy hat, huh?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we have a hat.
Yes.
Inside the hat, we got it.
Sure.
The
panel.
The communists, they don't know anything about. And then exactly bomb to the enemy.
And that's Lynn Black was on the radio running all the gun runs and all the weapons.
Like right there, they say, "Hey, 9 o'clock." But 200 feet, bomb it there right away. And I want to hit you. I say 12 o'clock. 5 feet. And next to me, you see it?
Jeez.
Yeah, we can't control the airplane because the pet and pet walking and spider up there.
For the covey, yes. And they're able to give them the control.
We work together. We control everything, but the people outside say, how do we survive? It's easy to survive because we there, we shoot the bomb.
Because like you said, or you read earlier in the story, they declared a prairie fire emergency. So when the first ones out of Marines, Scarface, when they expended, then the F-1s came in, then the A-1 Sky Raiders, and then later we had Army.
Yeah.
The judge and executioner. They came out.
Yeah, we understand exactly. Communists, very afraid the airplane. Even they got a big gun or they got a tank, they're very scary.
Yeah, they had the 275 rockets, miniguns.
We on the ground. They want to kill us. It's very difficult. And they want to kill us because they are afraid about, their area got destroyed by the bomb. We're not authorized to shoot the people. But we can call airplane even at night or day. We got like communication with the air, right?
Yes.
Like at night we got a moonbeam.
Moonbeam at night.
And then Greenboro.
It's the airborne airborne command ship.
Oh, okay.
For all of Southeast Asia. So they would fly over and they would do common checks at night, which is moonbeam. During the day would be Hillsborough. So that and they stayed close and support. They were way above all the activity with the covey and the fast movers. So that's one other level of communication. So if anything dropped off, like if the coveys were in between, they could still talk to Hillsborough and then still direct the gunships from that, talk directly to the gunships or helicopter crew. And Lynn did all that.
Yeah.
With shock.
When he was,
With shock, we got it, the system. We understand exactly. So we're not afraid. We're only a small group. They cannot find us. But they got big group. Hey, you there? You got a big tank. Thank you. Hello. How you doing, buddy?
Goodbye.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, speaking of communications, I can't imagine a more horrific sound to hear than the sound of the bugles from the communists getting ready to attack. That's got to be a nightmare.
We come there, their house. They're afraid to destroy their house. So they want to kill us. It's not easy.
Not going to be easy.
Yeah, not easy, because we learn a lot. We're training a lot. We know when we came down there, we got a briefing, right? How many enemy on the ground? Where we can hide them, where we can put the top, M14 mine.
Toe poppers.
Yeah, toe pop, where we can put it, Claymore mine, we can put it C4. And we know situation on the ground. We know everywhere. Especially we got experience in the jungle. And you American, you know situation, you know our knowledge with the American. I'm Vietnamese or whatever, I'm better than the people from the north. So I understand exactly when they move in. I look in the jungle, I look in the mountain, and I can see it. Where are they?
And that way you could help Lynn Black direct the airstrikes where you saw the most enemy activity.
Yeah, right here. By the way, day by day we got experience. I'm not too good, but with my experience, I can look up the mountain here. I can say, hey, I'm right here. Say, hey, Black, we down here. I read the location for him. And then that's the way it is.
But then after the bugles blew, then things got ugly again.
Yeah, here.
By then you had your walls built.
Let me pick it up. So the NVA bugles sounded. Waves of NVA troops carrying SKSs with fixed bayonets advanced on ST Alabama. When they were 15 feet away, ST Alabama opened fire. The semi-automatic SKSs were no match for the fully automatic firepower of the Spike team. After the first burst of full automatic fire, the team went to single shot. It was another turkey shoot. Without a word, a look, or a plan, acting solely on instinct, all of them, except the 1-1, scurried forward and dragged back dead NVA, placing the bodies in a circle around them and stacking them high. The deadly skirmishing continued for several hours before Covey told Black that more gunships and 5 Jolly Green Giants with heavily armored Sikorsky HH-3Es were en route. Blackjack, Covey, what you're up against is the regiment you were sent to find, over. And Blackjack replies, is that all? Only 3,000 of the bastards? Well, I think we made a dent in them. Who's winning? They are, Covey responded. As Black finished his commo, he saw a sight he would never forget. The NVA formed a front line of NVA troops who were firing their AK-47s. Behind them were several NVA soldiers swinging thongs made of leather and cloth, which held 3 to 5 hand grenades each. With a jerk of their collective wrists, the NVA hurlers launched more than 24 communist-manufactured grenades at ST Alabama. The sky was full of grenades. Fortunately, they weren't U.S. grenades. They hit the ground and threw dirt, smoke, and dust all over the place. ST Alabama looked up just as the AKs started again, and behind them, the thongs whirling overhead like helicopter blades. When the AKs stopped, the grenades were released. ST Alabama fired. More grenades were released. Alabama threw some back. ST Alabama was caught in a deadly version of the kid game Pop Goes the Weasel. The AK-47s continued to roar. Alabama ducked. The grenades were launched. Alabama rocked. Catch, duck, throw, duck, catch, throw. The NVA advanced. Grenade shrapnel severed the antenna of the PRC-25 radio. Black quickly rigged an impromptu antenna from wire. The relentless NVA continued to advance inch by bloody inch. Cowboy took 2 Vietnamese team members over the cadaver-walled perimeter, seeking to get another line of fire to direct at the advancing NVA. The advance continued despite firing from Black and the remaining Vietnamese team members. The NVA were now merely feet away from the perimeter. Jeez.
Do you believe it?
I can't believe you're sitting here talking to me.
Really, even now. Yeah.
Jeez. Throwing bunches of grenades. That's just a horror show. That's crazy.
That's the first time we ever saw that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
A new tactic.
We live in here. They here the village. We're going down here. The first thing we are at the top.
So there's a little ridge line.
Yes.
And they're on one side of the ridge line.
Yes.
You're on the other side of the ridge line.
And then they shoot up. We're going down here. We move to we got a high in here to cover us, and grenade throw here.
Oh, so they're throwing grenades over the ridge line at you.
And then, as I say, that communists is not training well. So if they throw a grenade, they put it out, come in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, they throw it. We gonna die, everybody.
But they just pulled the pin and
they just
threw
pulled
it.
the pin
Put a
and threw
pin
them.
and throw it.
They didn't cook them at all?
Yes, and we have a time. We have a timer to pick it up and throw it back. Because they are not well training.
Mm-hmm.
But with us, hand grenade it, put it out, come it, 1, 2, 3, throw it. When they pick it up, it's gonna blow it out. That's why we can suggest that communists is not well training.
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, they're not training at all. They just know put it out and throw it. That's why we
lucky
still,
for you.
Yeah, we still survive.
Oh.
The people, they don't understand. They say, hey, the guy is liar. No, he's not a liar, but their training is not well, not good. So that's why we here, Meyer.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Going back to the book, at the last moment with the NVA a few body lengths away from the perimeter, 2 Huey gunships from the Americal Division, 176th Aviation Company, the Minutemen muskets of the 36th Charlie arrived. The UH-1B pilots were codenamed the Judge and the Executioner. They roared into battle, first with a minigun blast, followed seconds later with several 2.75 millimeter rockets placed in the NVA ranks. Alabama was saved, if only for a little while. The NVA backed off for a few moments, briefly licking their collective wounds, although they were far from whipped. New assault lines of the NVA troops formed. Before the NVA opened fire on St. Alabama, however, the Executioner confronted the NVA head-on. With both door gunners blazing away with their handheld M60 machine guns, he hovered inches off the ground between the team and the front of the NVA and skipped several 2.75 millimeter rockets off the ground into the NVA. Before the bleeding, startled NVA could respond, the pilot lifted the old UH-1B model gunship over the tree line and ducked down into the canyon, regaining enough airspeed to return for another pass at the St. Alabama perimeter. Before St. Alabama could celebrate, the NVA charged again. 3 more dead NVA were added to the cadaver wall. Silence dominated the battlefield. No bird chirps, no speaking, no noise of any type. Even the aircraft over the scene had flown far enough away that their absence amplified the empty air. The 1-1 who hadn't fired a single shot continued to pray. Black patched up a bleeding cowboy. He gave him some morphine before bandaging a wound on his right side from an AK-47 round. "Where's John Wayne when you need him?" Cowboy asked. The others laughed. "Chu hoi du ma. Give up, motherfuckers," an enemy soldier yelled. Another NVA told Black to chu hoi in English. Black flipped him the bird as a sniper shot Alabama's tail gunner, Kwong. Is that right, Kwong?
Kwong, yeah.
Kwong in the crotch, hitting an artery. As Tho applied direct pressure to Kwong's wound, an A-1E Sky Raider lumbered into the AO, flown by pilot codenamed Snoopy. He roared in from Black's left, brushing the treetops, full flaps, working his throttle. The aircraft was so close to the team that Black could hear the distinctive metallic click-click of the napalm canisters being released from the old Korean War era plane. The Sky Raider appeared to be falling, but it actually slipped down into the valley to escape NVA gunfire as the American UH-1B gunships and fast movers had maneuvered earlier in the day. His wingman appeared as he flew over the team. They could hear the nuts and bolts of God knows what creaking and groaning as he salvoed the rockets. The NVA were pissed. Again, the hot shell casings from the airborne warships rained down on St. Alabama. "Where's John Wayne when you need him?"
That's a great line.
That's why cowboy.
Yeah.
Oh, and where did you got shot with an AK?
Yes. You want to see a scar? In my butt.
I'll take your word for it, sir.
He's got so many scars.
Many scar.
Yeah, it's crazy to think you're so close to these guys that you're talking to them, yelling out chu hoi du ma.
Oh yeah, God.
They all the way call.
They what?
The enemy all the way chu hoi. Get the fucker.
Then 3 small mortars opened fire. Black knew there was no way in hell any of the teams could catch the mortars and throw them back. He and the Vietnamese team leader, Tho, rolled over the cadaver wall toward the mortars, cautiously picking their way through the charred NVA bodies and carnage from the previous airborne assaults. They moved into the jungle within 20 feet of the first mortar tube. Tho drew a plan in the ground. He would hit tube 1, Black would hit tube 3, and they'd combine on tube 2. After the mortarmen launched 3 salvos, Tho opened on his target while Black attacked his target tube and several nearby NVA soldiers. The survivors chased Black. In the confusion, the NVA opened fire on each other as Black headed toward Tube 1, with NVA soldiers still chasing him where Tho was pinned down. Black threw a hand grenade and killed at least 3 NVA with a blast of gunfire to free Tho. They turned on the NVA chasing Black and dealt with them. Then he and Tho wiped out the NVA at the second tube before they quickly returned to the team, all while picking up ammo and loaded AK-47 magazines from dead or wounded NVA soldiers. By now, Watkins had returned to flying Covey Rider above St. Alabama. Spider had called the U.S. Air Force 37th Air Rescue and Recovery Group in Da Nang to attempt to rescue the rest of St. Alabama. During the Vietnam War, when pilots were shot down in North Vietnam or Laos and all else failed, the Jolly Green Giants were called. The Sikorsky HH-3E weighed 22,000 pounds loaded and had 2 General Electric T-58GE 5 turboshaft 1,500 horsepower engines, extra armament and firepower, and they were manned by remarkable Air Force pilots and crews. The first heavily armored Jolly Green Giant, codenamed JG-28, started its descent to the LZ from 4,000 feet. As it approached, the JG crew was looking for an orange panel on the southeast side of the LZ. However, as the aircraft was about to touch down, crew members noticed a second panel. The NVA had an identical panel. The momentary pause was nearly fatal for JG-28 as the NVA opened fire on it from several sides. The heavy gunfire severed the main fuel line, causing a massive fuel leak inside the helicopter. JG-28 had to withdraw from the LZ. In a matter of seconds, there were 2 or 3 inches of aviation fuel on the aircraft's cabin floor. The fumes temporarily blinded the crew members. The pilot was able to stabilize and return to Da Nang. As JG-10 hovered a safe distance away from the LZ, Watkins directed a few more airstrikes around St. Alabama with the hope that the communist soldiers would put their heads down long enough for the team to get out. After a few airstrikes, JG-10, piloted by Air Force Major Vernon Sam Grenier, was called to attempt the extraction. For Grenier, this was his first assignment in the Prairie Fire AO as a Jolly Green Giant pilot. Hey, welcome to Prairie Fire.
Oh, yeah.
When the call from Covey came, Grenier knew that there were 2 U.S. Green Berets on the ground with their Vietnamese team members and that the majority of the team was wounded. He didn't hesitate. Grenier piloted the Jolly Green Giant toward the LZ. Unlike JG-28, Grenier knew which side of the LZ St. Alabama was on. As he approached the LZ, NVA gunfire again reached a deafening roar, despite St. Alabama directing firepower at the communist soldiers. As Grenier began to hover over the LZ, JG-10 was hammered by enemy gunfire. His crew chief reported that one NVA round had tore a 6-inch hole through the floor. The round apparently slammed into one of the engines. Both engine warning lights went on. Both engines were on fire. Grenier did a 180-degree turn and moved to damaged aircraft away from the deadly enemy fire and away from the team, struggling to keep it airborne, calling upon all the training he had received to continue flying. Both crew members continued firing their machine guns as Grenier battled to keep the ship in the air. Time ran out for JG-10. After traveling several hundred yards, Grenier warned his crew to brace themselves for a crash landing. Both crew members continued firing their weapons until the burning HH-3E slammed into the jungle. St. Alabama was stunned. Covey and all the men flying over the target area viewed the horror in grim silence. What's that? 4 helicopters have gone down now? 5? Including the first one on insert?
4.
The men back at FOB-1 monitored the radio transmissions on their PRC-25s as Covey talked to Black. Spike Team Alabama's radio signal was too weak to hear any response. The word spread through camp that the latest horrific turn of events surrounding St. Alabama, the usual hustle-bustle of a Saturday at FOB-1, was replaced by quiet, hushed tones as the entire compound feared the worst, but continued to pray for the men of St. Alabama. Word of a proposed ArcLight mission reinforced the gravity of St. Alabama's situation. An ArcLight was a strike by a B-52 bomber from more than 25,000 feet. Back in Laos, the stunned members of St. Alabama returned to their cadaver perimeter once again, nearly out of ammo. 1-1 was facing down, muttering, "The Lord is my shepherd." One of the Vietnamese went about collecting AK-47s and ammo from the dead NVA as Spider and Watkins directed more airstrikes around the team. Within 10 to 15 minutes after Grenier's burning HH-3 crashed into the jungle, Covey learned that there were 2 survivors from the Jolly Green Giant and asked St. Alabama if they could locate the remaining crew members. Grenier had broken his back but somehow pulled himself from the burning helicopter. The other Jolly Green Giant survivor, Sergeant Ernest Dean Casbier, had been thrown clear of the crash. Neither knew the location of the other. Watkins told Black where the Air Force survivors were and that they'd run a daisy chain between his position and the men, hopefully to clear the area enough for the team to get to both of the survivors. The NVA threw one more curve at St. Alabama. When Black tried to talk to Covey, he found the primary, secondary, and alternate FM frequencies jammed by the NVA. Frustrated, Black smashed the PRC-25 and pulled out his URC-10 high-frequency survival radio. He was told an ArcLight strike was being planned for this area as soon as possible. By now, all air assets, Navy, Marine, and Air Force, which had been scheduled to fly sorties into North Vietnam, were diverted to the prairie fire emergency surrounding St. Alabama. Covey directed numerous airstrikes, including more gun and rocket runs from helicopter gunships. Scarface and Hueys from the Marine Light Helicopter Squadron 367 returned to make several runs. After refueling and reloading in Phu Bai, the Minutemen muskets returned to wreak havoc on the persistent NVA troops. They pounded the jungle area between St. Alabama and Air Force survivors. Around 1800, a Jolly Green pilot, Air Force Major Don Olson, called over the radio. "Blackjack, JG-32, over. I'm parked down in the draw in the trees from you. You have 20 minutes of fuel before I leave. The first person we must see is an American. Hurry, we're taking heavy ground fire." Jeez. So now it's 6 o'clock at night. You've been there all day on the ground, 4 helicopters down. You got 2 survivors that you're going to try and link up with.
And the Jolly Green just came down into the jungle and hovered in the jungle just
waiting there.
Lower his profile and to wait.
Yeah, it's a counterintuitive thing that when you're in an aircraft and when you're in a helicopter or a plane, when you're up higher, it makes you an easier target. It's better to get low where the enemy can't see you. So I know it might not make sense. People might think, oh, it'd be better to go up. But it's actually, in a lot of cases, better to go down. And that's what this guy's doing. Anything that couldn't be carried was thrown over the side of the cliff. As quickly as the wounded could move, they headed toward the Jolly Green Giant. Could you guys hear the helicopter? Did you know where it was?
Yes.
So you could hear it and you're like, okay, we got to go for it.
Yes.
The chopper had literally cut away the treetops and branches to nestle into the thick, dark green foliage, thus reducing its profile to enemy gunners. Olson had to keep the aircraft stable as there were large trees on all sides of the aircraft. The trees were large enough that they could severely damage the 5 rotor blades and cause the chopper to crash if any of them got hit. Covey directed more airstrikes in a daisy chain fashion in the portion of jungle between St. Alabama and the hovering Jolly Green Giant. Watkins hoped this would drive out or kill NVA in the zone. Even that task became more difficult as smoke from all the ordnance continued to hang over the trees, decreasing the visibility for pilots and helicopter gunners. As they moved toward the hovering helicopter, St. Alabama entered a cool ravine before climbing a final hill to the chopper. There they encountered a village with hooches built on 10-foot stilts, complete with large pots cooking rice and vegetables. Instead of NVA troops, Black found an American taking food from one of the pots. He was the flight engineer, Sergeant Ernest Dean Casbier, one of the 2 Air Force survivors from the crashed helicopter. Soon they found Grenier, who had assisted in directing the hovering Jolly Green to this area in the jungle despite his broken back. Whew. You want to talk about miracles?
Yeah.
Randomly running into these guys.
In the village.
In the village. Jeez.
But we knew it. Two guys, two survivors.
You knew that. You were looking for them.
LG is here. The Jolly Green tent, it dropped down here. It crashed. We run from here all the way down here. The communist house around here. We got a difficult time to join with them. So that's why we take, very crazy decision. We go or we go fast or we go slowly or we go, by another way to get in to join with them. This from the hill here to the crash site, it very difficult time for us. But we gotta do it. Like at 18 o'clock.
Right.
It's little bit dark.
So it's starting to get dark.
And Black and Uncle Keith want to say, hey, we stay here for overnight. But I thought in my mind, if I stay overnight, I gonna die because my bleeding in the back, everything in my body. I say, hey, let me join first. And I run through, but we got a tactical to escape from here to the crash site. I say, go and fight. And Quang and you got a 2 gun. This fought, ting, 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 and then I run.
So you just kind of went for it.
Yes. and they still.
And were you trying to get to where the helicopter was?
Yes.
And you were just going to go by yourself?
Yes.
Because otherwise you were going to bleed out.
Yes.
At what point did the rest of the team decide to go with you? When you made it?
They stay there. I'm the point to open the bloodway to let, if I'm die, if the team get it, to be the safety. If I run through, and then when I get there, I gotta shoot back, ting, ting, and the team run.
Okay, so they were covering for you.
Yes.
And then when you got there, you covered for them.
Yes. And then when I run there, I say, hey, I saw the chopper there. And I stay there. I say, go. When we don't have a radio, but when I shot it, the people understand I'm safety. And then Quang, they got to run through my way. We rejoin in there with the helicopter side. But we understand if I'm stay overnight, I gonna die because the bleeding.
Sure.
And then anyway, I die. Let's try. Let's try to looking for the way for survival.
Right. So you were either going to die trying to run there, or you were going to die staying there overnight.
Yes.
So you might as well go for it.
Either thing, I gonna die. If I'm stay there.
And you already had died, 3 times, 4 times at this point in your career?
But, how do we hear? We still, understand we training well. We training good. And then we work together really good. If I'm running, if Quang and Black or whatever can protect me.
They give you cover.
Yeah.
Cover fire.
I gotta die in my way. So
and the NVA wasn't used to you guys running.
Yes.
They didn't expect it.
No. Again, before they charged through the ranks several times, and in this one here, he's running, and then the others follow.
Another one, ding, 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 they got, right there.
And you're firing with AK-47s by now, so that way the NVA maybe wouldn't be so alert. If they heard CAR-15s, they would come quickly for the CAR-15s, but hearing AK, maybe they weren't sure. That may have helped also.
We still have 1 or 2 CAR-15.
Really?
We, the way CAR-15, the front.
Yes.
We take it, in the front of the M16.
Yes.
We put in car 15. Different sound.
For a different
sound.
what?
Different sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Different sound. So when I shot it, bam, like a machine gun.
Right.
But the car 15, the long one in here,
Yes.
it's very small. But when we shoot it by the, I don't know how to call it, but the front up.
It's the flash on the end.
Yes.
Yes. So instead of the
different
car
flash, but-
15, which is about 2 inches,
Yeah,
Right here.
they had the early M16,
Oh, okay.
the 3-prong one.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the very early M16 with that 3-prong, and they changed the flash, which I'd never heard
sound.
before.
Different sound.
So a different sound.
Yeah.
Very different sound.
Yeah, very different
Oh, yeah.
sound. Yeah. The
So
comment
one
is-
more thing that saved you.
Yeah, one more thing.
You're running, you're bleeding, and you're firing car 15s with different sound, along with the AKs.
And they knew that, and then they follow me. And
Follow
then at
me.
the time that they follow me, I got ping, ping, just single shot.
Just single shots.
Yeah, if you put it full automatic, you don't have a good enough, the ammo.
Mm-hmm.
So the ping, we count. Maybe we can play game with them. 1, 2, 3, ping. 1, 2, 3, ping, ping. Sometimes, and they scan it. If you full, the automatic, they say, hey, that guy no experience in the war.
He's an amateur.
Yes. And easy to run out the ammo.
Yeah.
Ping. And not ping, 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 ping.
Yeah.
Different way, different style. So they know the people with the enemy, they understand exactly those guys that how they learning. So according from the training, we're doing well, we're doing good, very good. So any situation, anywhere, and anytime.
Training counts.
Yes. So just let the people understand that in the army now, you better learn, you better train. Don't say, hey, I'm hero, I'm the big guy. No. We need to training
Always train.
all the way. Learn from each other. If James Stryker, he listened to me. He said, hey, how do we get out? And that easy, right? Call the chopper. I need extraction. And then we safety everybody.
But anyways, get back to here where you are now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, where we are right now is back to the book. The NVA focused heavily on the chopper, easing the pressure on ST Alabama. As they neared the Jolly Green, Black thought it felt like they were moving closer to the gates of hell itself. The NVA were pouring small arms fire and RPGs at the hovering ship, while the door gunners and pilots intermittently fired the minigun M79s and M60s, and the helicopter gunships and Sky Raiders made gun runs around it. Time was against them. The weather was beginning to close in. The smoke from previous airstrikes hung over the area for longer and longer periods of time before clearing enough for the next attack from the air. On the ground, the men of ST Alabama heard an NVA running through the bushes around them. Fortunately, the NVA failed to spot the Spike team or the Air Force crewmen. Desperate, Black had to move his team onto a trail so it could move to the hovering helicopter more quickly. As the team moved up the trail, the tail gunner was shaking violently and had turned a pasty white. Team members set Kwong down and proceeded to the aircraft. At the crest of the hill, they saw the helicopter taking hits and dealing out its own. The M60 was red hot. Black saw someone firing an M16 out of one of the windows. As Black moved to the chopper, the intensity of gunfire seemed to multiply. The air was so full of lead he could see it. Fuel and bits of metal skin fell from the aircraft as they reached its underside. The jungle penetrator smashed to the ground next to him and raised 3 feet before he could put 3 team members on the first load. Grenier, the Air Force flight engineer, and a wounded ST Alabama team member were on the second hoist lift. The wounded Vietnamese became entangled in jungle vines, and while he was being hoisted upward, the Air Force hoist operator had to stop the hoist, lower it, and give him enough time to untangle himself. When the hoist moved up toward the aircraft, the Vietnamese was not sitting in the seat, but hanging on, with assistance from Air Force Sergeant Casbier. Despite the NVA gunfire, Black ran back to the bamboo thicket where he had left the remainder of the team. Kwong, the dying tail gunner, pointed his .45 caliber pistol at the advancing NVA and said, "Toi kiet, I die." Yes. He motioned Black to return to the helicopter before shooting himself. Black was running back to the ship when 2 NVAs stepped onto the trail and pointed their AK-47s at him. "Chu Hoi," one of the soldiers shouted. Black stretched out his arms and continued walking towards them. When he was only a few feet away, he said, "Chu Hoi." The young NVA soldiers appeared surprised. Before they could react, Black grabbed the AK-47s by their searing barrels and stripped them from their soldiers. He backhanded the soldier on his right and smashed the other soldier in the face with one of the weapons. He left the stunned soldiers lying there as he sprinted to the chopper where he found the praying 1-1. The rest of the team was on board, firing any weapon they could get their hands on. As the jungle penetrator lifted Black and the 1-1 upward, they were showered with hot, spent casings from the M60 and other weapons being fired from inside the aircraft. The entire team fired out the windows and from the back door as the overloaded helicopter began to lift out of the jungle. Major Olson told Covey he was at maximum power. As the Jolly Green Giant slowly rose, Black felt the ship making upward surges from B-40 rockets slamming into the armor-plated underside of the aircraft. It felt like a giant slugging the ship in the stomach, boosting it upward with each rocket blast. From his view above the fray, Watkins couldn't believe the bird kept flying. Somehow, the pilot got the Jolly Green Giant out of there. Once clear of the jungle hole, the ship began its ascent out of the valley and the shadow of death. The door gunner removed his helmet and placed it on Black's head. The pilot told him, "We're on our way home." Not quite. From above, Watkins saw the crippled ship catch fire and try to make it out of the killing zone. It crossed 2 ridgelines before descending into a clearing where it crash landed. Olson had gotten them out of the killing zone, but JG-32 had flown its last rescue mission. Everyone except Black and the 1-1 were transferred to another Jolly Green Giant piloted by a Coast Guard exchange pilot, Lieutenant Commander Lonnie Mixon. Mixon took over 30 hits, picking up ST Alabama and others. After everyone knew that Black, the remaining personnel from ST Alabama, and the Air Force survivors from JG-10 were cleared from the original target area, they hammered it with everything they had, including more napalm bombs and gun runs. Captain Hartness, the pilot of Watkins' FAC plane, was so mad at that he flew the O2 down into small arms range and fired his 2.7mm rockets into the area where the NVA had knocked down JG-10. He and Watkins took a hit to the front and the engine died. Hartness somehow got the Skymaster O2 up out of the area and back to Fubai. There was no engine pressure when he landed. A Cobra gunship landed and opened the armament compartment doors, which had seatbelts attached to them. Black and the 1-1 buckled up and were soon airborne alongside the Jolly Green Giant, returning to Da Nang. They were flying so fast that Black had to turn his blood-stained face away in order to breathe. Within minutes, he was so cold he was shivering uncontrollably. The Cobra landed at a Marine medevac site, where the Americans were wrapped in poncho liners and helicoptered to Da Nang. At the Da Nang infirmary, everyone was getting patched up. When Tho saw Black, he raised his right hand in a fist above his head. "Chu Hoi Du Ma," he yelled. "Surrender, motherfuckers." Man, that's a crazy mission. What do you think? Just another day in SOG?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Maybe just a little bit
another
different.
Day in SOG.
Yeah.
Man. And that was, that's one mission, but that was your life. That was your life. That's what you did every day. Or multiple times a month, over and over and over and over again.
Over and over again.
The casualty rate for SOG was over 100%.
Correct.
So if you were going to SOG, you were going to get wounded probably more than once. You may be killed, obviously. I can't imagine that the survival rate for the Vietnamese that aren't going back to America. You're just staying in that job for years. I mean, the survival rate must have been minuscule. For you to be standing here is crazy.
Absolutely. It's a miracle.
Actually, in our situation, that we have no choice. We have no choice. We gotta go forward. Okay, Vietnam is situation that Vietnam war country. If I'm not joined to the army, I get back home, I cannot survive. I must go with the another unit, like infantry or local army.
Mm-hmm.
Why not we stay with the SOG? We got a lot of offering. We got a lot of money.
Better pay.
Yeah, we got a lot of power when we go back to town.
Mm-hmm.
We wear the NVA uniform. Nobody can touch it because we have it. The car employee of the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody can touch whatever they want to touch it. We got an MP, military police there to protect us. And we got a gun in the front, we got a pistol in the back. Come on, whatever, 10 guy or 20 guy. Have you watched the Rambo movie or something? We did like 100% like him. We got a claymore mine here, we got to go somewhere. We pull over here, nobody know. Anything happen?
Just walk around with a claymore mine on your chest.
Right here. You want to play? Go ahead. Come on, please. Even, the police station, whatever they want to do with us, we join together with one team. 3 American and 9 Vietnamese. We went together. Nobody can stop us.
Like the time that Quang was in jail, you had to go get him out of jail.
Yes.
You had to break him out of jail?
Yeah, Quang got in jail.
Was there resistance from the jail, or did they just let you guys take him when they realized who you guys were?
No, we went there for free. Nobody can stop. we went there, up in the air.
Claymores on your chest.
Come on here, please.
And they also had a couple guys with M60s.
Car 15, we got a home kind of thing. They look in car 15, they say, hey, what the hell the gun is that, right?
Yeah.
Nobody know. And we got an AK-47. If they shoot up, Claymore mine got to blow out.
Yeah.
So they let us do
Quang
it
got
for
out
free.
of jail.
Quang got out of jail. He got the get out of jail free claymore.
So he could go on a mission on October 5th. And that's where he died.
Yeah.
It's that Quang.
Oh, so that's when you had to break him out, was before this mission.
Before this mission, they broke him out of jail.
Jeez. So
on an ice cream run down the way.
So basically, you were in that job because you guys were the baddest motherfuckers in Vietnam, and you did whatever you wanted to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Even, the strong guy.
Hey, Claymore beats a strong guy all day long.
All day.
I can count the piece of the inside. 555 piece.
Ball bearings
Oh, the
inside
ball
the
bearings
Claymore.
inside the Claymore. Yep.
I can count it. Sometimes we play the game.
Right.
Put it out with C4 inside. We took out the C4.
Yeah, sometimes they take it out and cook their coffee and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then we put it in here. Nobody knows that the real one or the fake.
This is still psyops,
Yeah,
though.
it's good psychological
Yeah.
operations. When did you? Because I know you ended up getting wounded badly in your leg. When did that happen?
It happened August 30th, 1971.
And then what happened? Did you get shot?
I got shot.
And how did you get out of how did you escape the situation?
We don't know underground, but the water in there, swam in there. And then we get out there. We're looking for, with the people experienced like me, we're looking for the hide place and under the tree to stay there. And they wanted me to be POW. That means they want to catch the team. The first thing that they want, the first thing like it, they want a shot like it. You
were out there to get a POW.
They want to.
Yes.
They want me to do it. They want me to. They want to catch me. But we will not let them do it. But after that, they want to catch the team. They don't want to kill the team.
Oh, okay.
They say surrender like a chihuahua, and then we enter by the Cap 15. Here the chihuahua, but they very close to us. They got a bunker around there, and then they shoot the guy with the radio. Before they want to catch the team, they got to kill the radio man first.
Okay.
Like the Frenchman, he had the radio. They want to make the contact to the team. They got to kill the radio man first. And then my leg next to the radio, I kick the radio out. But they shoot to the radio, including my leg.
Oh.
And maybe 2-3 rounds into my leg, they shoot by RPD. I hear the sound, I know that RPD. Sure. And then I pull out my leg. That time, we just get out there for 10 minutes. And I just report to the Bingham. Bingham just report to the COVID, say, team safety, team okay. And they can go home.
Bingham was the team leader.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can go home. Say in Bingham.
Yes.
And then later on, they got a hit right away. And my friend, they carry me out they call back to the chopper. The chopper come back. But, I got it, PRC 68.
Oh, later on.
No, PRC 68, the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Emergency radio?
The emergency radio.
Yeah, emergency.
The PRC 68. That was still around when I came in.
Really?
Yeah, it was getting phased out, getting replaced by the PRC 125. But there was like one or two of them that you could go look in the radio shop.
Small one.
Yeah, it's a small one.
The first one we got it.
The Urk 10.
Urk 10, right?
Yes.
We got an Urk 10. Urk 10 we cannot talk, but PRC 68 we can change the frequency to talk.
Oh, okay.
That they got to develop the new thing. And then when I turn it on, when I pull out they gotta try to pull out me to the LG,
mm-hmm.
and then I put it on, and the chopper coming back, and shoot up to the enemy, and I turn over my leg. It really hurt, really pain. I throw my PRC 68 away. I'm dropped somewhere, and then they thought I'm dead. Because after 10 minutes, I cannot turn off the PRC 28. That means I am the one dead, and they want to kill. They want to blow out the PRC 68. Mm-hmm. They don't want PRC 68 to the hand the enemy.
Right.
And that's why I survived. And they shoot around us by the rocket, by the missile. All kind of thing, and the NVA thought, like the chopper know where they are. They move out.
Oh, they were scared.
They scan it. They move it out, and I'm free. I'm not free, but I got a safety situation, and the chopper land down, pick me up, and the first chopper land down, I smell the gas. Because the enemy shoot up the chopper to the gas tank. I say, get out of the way. I cannot shoot because I shoot it. The chopper got to burn it out.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I wave my hand. I say, go, 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 go. And I talk to hold the team. I say, don't shoot anything, don't shoot anything. And after that, the pilot, they knew, the gas spread out. And they left. I don't know what happened with the chopper. But the second one land down, pick me up. They take me to the 95th hospital. And then later on the day, I got inspection. And then the doctor cut off my leg.
Oh.
Only 20 minutes on the ground. Only 20 minutes when we land down. But I'm okay now.
He's back.
Yeah.
So then, what was it like as the war was over and America was leaving and the communists are taking over? I mean, you had to be kind of a marked man, being this former, special operations guy that was working alongside the Americans. They must have wanted to find you.
That's why I told you that we need a training. After I got wounded, I was sent to work with the American Embassy.
Okay, so after you got wounded, you went to work at the American Embassy.
Yes.
Got it.
My station in Da Nang, at 52 Bat Dang, U.S. Consulate General 1 in Da Nang, until to 1975. The date we lost Da Nang at the end of the March 1975. With my experience with the SOG, we understand enemy situation. They fight from north to the south. But I work in the Da Nang. At the time, they want to take Da Nang. I move up to the south. I hit a lot of enemy. I contact a lot of, like the security or police. What do you think? They attack from the north to the south, but I'm from the south, move up to the north. They thought I'm their friend. That's why I'm telling you that we need to train.
Mm-hmm. So you did the opposite of what they thought you would do.
Yes.
You went from the south to the north.
To the north. That means I'm the people from the north. They not pay attention about the people from the south to the north. But if you move from the north to the south, they got a checkpoint. Where you go, what is your name, where do you work, everything they ask the question, but I'm from the north, from the south to the north. The reason that my father-in-law up the way, up the Phu Bai camp, and then we stayed there until they took over the Saigon. We almost crazy. We don't know where to go. We don't understand situation. But my family in the Saigon and Dalat and in Bien Hoa. And after they take over to the South Vietnam, I used enemy paperwork. That means enemy ID card and enemy certificate. That means from the north. By the way, my relative, my uncle, my something relative, my nephew up the north, going to the south to see me. That means when the first thing 1954, we still have the people living in the north.
Mm-hmm.
And when they came down, they're looking for us. Because between Saigon and North Vietnam, it's very difficult. And Saigon, it rich people. and knowledge people. But in North Vietnam, they only, knowledge by the communism. They limited with education.
Mm-hmm.
So when they came down to the south to see our family, they don't have nothing, but they still say, "Hey, we got a TV over the town, we got all kind of things," but they have nothing. But at the time, they ask for the money, they ask for the gold, they ask for the ring. That's why I learned from them too. So I'm not stay only one place.
Mm-hmm.
Today I'm in San Jose, tomorrow I'm down here, Los Angeles. Los Angeles, I gotta go Tennessee, and then I gotta go Washington D.C. I gotta go.
You got to keep moving.
Keep moving.
Keep the communists guessing.
Yes. And then I buy something. Everything in the communist situation, government, everything is not free.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to fish. I gotta go down to sea, some Da Nang or somewhere. I buy the fish. I took from there back to Saigon to sell to black market. So I found out the way. By the way, I'm looking for the way to escape
Mm-hmm.
from Vietnam. They give me some time free because they knew I was from the SOG SOG for free. They invite us because they got a gun, but they don't know how to do.
Oh, so they actually invited you? The communists invited you?
No, the people in the South Vietnam.
Oh, South Vietnam. They invited you to start training them?
No.
To just do security for them? To do what?
If we see anything happen in overseas, I gotta shoot the communists. Yes.
Got it.
They gotta protect them. And then until to 1986, October, I successful to come to Malaysia.
And how did you do that?
By small boat.
Small boat?
Yes.
And you had tried 14 times before that.
The last time I did 15 times. I got a paperwork right there.
And what is that? You tried to escape. So you tried to escape 14 times. You were successful on your 15th time.
Yes.
What were the other methods that you tried? Was it always by boat?
By boat, yes.
Always by boat.
Always by boat. I thought I gotta go. I can go by kitchen or whatever the Laos, but my leg cannot walk because I know where the way to go.
Right.
I know where the way to go, but my leg.
Go west, but you couldn't walk.
No. Yes.
And then what happened once you got to Malaysia?
I be there for wait for the UN. I mean, I stay there. I see the American delegation, and they come to interview me. So they say, and then they take me to the to come to the United States.
How do they go? How do they confirm who you are?
I have nothing, but they got a special interview from the people from the U.S. I mean GVA, I mean Joint Volunteer Agency. When I came there, I have nothing, but they asked me, and I talk my history.
Mm-hmm.
They go back here, they go back state to check up.
Right.
And after 1 month, they say, "Hey, you come U.S."
So they did that pretty fast.
Wow.
Yes, because they asked me. They got a group like they're looking for the POW or whatever MIA.
Right.
They asked me the question: do I know any American mission in action or POW? I said yes, I did. I talked Poking, Can't Cry, James Stryker.
These are all people who are on our teams that got killed.
They got
And the two other Americans on Alaska when it got wiped out, when Alan survived, the two Americans were crying in King.
I only remember with 3, but they asked me, do you know where the location? I said, yes, I did.
Sure.
And they tried to bring me back to the Vietnam to tell them. But they could, because the time I stayed there for 6 months for waiting to come back to Vietnam. But I don't know why they sent me to the Philippines for education training.
And what kind of education training
for
was that?
learning, like for orientation, for how the American life. And in there for 6 months, I came over here, San Francisco.
And then what was it like when you landed in San Francisco?
1988 something.
1988?
Yes.
What'd you do when you landed? Did you have any family here?
Yes, I got it. My sister in San Jose.
And had she escaped from Vietnam?
Yes.
Already?
Yes, 1975.
And how did she escape?
Because she got a husband like the Vietnamese pilot, and they out of Vietnam by the way, her husband.
Wow. So what did you do when you landed? Did you just have to get a job? And I mean, you couldn't strap a claymore to your chest anymore and walk around town taking what you wanted.
My sister, she be here like at the 75, and then she got like a few gas station, 5 gas station. The Chevron, Shell, Echo, and then when I came, I worked for her, like a family job, until I got, I got stroke.
15 years ago.
Yeah, 15 years, 17 years ago, I got stroke, and then no more job, no more work.
Yeah, when that happened, we all thought Cowboy Finney. We'll never see Cowboy again. We all heard that.
I don't know.
Black.
I don't think there's anything that can kill Cowboy at this point. Cowboy's going to live forever.
So he has a stroke. It was a bad stroke, but yet he's back.
My mouth, over here, and I cannot move. But now I'm still okay. But another problem with Agent
Orange.
Agent Orange. I got a kidney problem. I got dialysis. Now at home.
And you managed somehow to have kids during all this. You have children.
Yes, I do.
And how many children do you have?
Totally 10. Do you believe it?
I don't. I believe anything that you tell me.
But 3 dead in Vietnam.
Okay, so you lost 3 kids in Vietnam.
Yes, because when the newborn, they don't have any food. They don't have any energy to stay alive. 3 dead. And then when I escaped with the 2 of my son came over here with me. My wife at the time is still back in Vietnam. And then I do my paperwork. All my family here right now. I got 5 sons and 2 girls in here with me, in the United States with me.
Oh, beautiful.
One of the Texas, one of the North Carolina, and 3 in here with me, and 2 of my girls, 1 in here with me, and another one that I believe in Louisiana. Yeah. And then I have 11 grandchildren.
11 grandchildren.
Yeah.
Wow.
11 little cowboys out there.
11 little cowboys. So you are going to live forever. No doubt.
No doubt.
I try my best. I cannot tell whatever, like it. When I got shocked, my wife say, call 911. I say, hey, don't do it. And then my son say, call 911. I say, don't do it. Let me stay. And I cannot sit. I cannot lie down.
This is when you had your stroke?
Stand. Yes.
You said don't call 911.
Yeah, no.
You didn't want to call a prairie fire emergency on that situation?
No, I called Chopper.
Call King Bees?
And, because I have a training when I was young, I have a training Kung Fu. I got a training yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep my body, free.
Mm-hmm.
I keep my mind going. And later about an hour, I back to normal. Not normal. That time, we can use it, medication. I say, okay, now call 911. Take me to the doctor. But the time for emergency, I learned from my father. He crying when I lost my leg. He told me why I'm not using the herb. You know herb, right?
Hope?
Herb
Yeah.
medication.
Hope is the medication.
Yes. Not, use it by the American way medication, like take pill or get shot. That's no good. So that's why I'm say don't call 911.
Wow.
And then I survival right now, you see it? I got a lot of trouble. I know it affected by the war.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it make me depressed. I got a lot of medication. And, they spread everything in the Vietnam. Agent Orange.
Mm-hmm.
We came down there. That we were very shocked with the water. But we pull out the rock, the water in there, we take it out and drink.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I got a trauma with my age right now.
Because of the Agent Orange.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know. We've been going for 2.5 hours.
No.
Till what
we did it
did we
again.
miss? Did I miss anything?
Well, the only thing we missed would be if you want to talk about the day he was with the Frenchman, that historic day when the Frenchman got shot in the back 4 times.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
Okay, so 1 month later, you guys are on another mission, and I'm going back into Across the Fence. Here we go. Later in the afternoon, Childress signaled to the team to pull their Claymore mines and prepare to move out. Due to the combined weight of the rucksack and web gear, Letourneau, this is the Frenchman, moved to his knees and slung his rucksack on his back. Just as it landed on his back, AK-47s opened fire. Letourneau was slammed to the ground face first. The impact so severe he had thought he had broken his nose. Startled, Letourneau jumped up with his Car-15, pointing it toward the AK-47 gunfire that was near the front of the team. Surprised that there were no NVA near him, Letourneau removed the rucksack to discover that 4 AK-47 rounds had ripped through the 23-pound PRC-25. He reached into an especially tailored pocket on his fatigue shirt, which was sewn with vertical zippers, one on the left of his shirt and one on the right side, between the top and bottom of the pockets on his shirt, and pulled out his URC-10 emergency radio and broadcast a general alert for any aircraft in the area. ST Virginia was declaring a prairie fire emergency. Then there was a sudden complete silence, eerie silent. Amazed at the quietude, Letourneau walked to Childress, who asked him what he had done with the PRC-25. Letourneau explained that 4 rounds had ripped through the radio and that it was probably useless. Get the fucking radio, Childress yelled. What if it's working? We leave it behind for those assholes to use. Stunned, Letourneau went back, picked up the rucksack, and walked to Childress, who grabbed the handset as NVA troops began firing at ST Virginia and yelled into the radio, "We have a fucking prairie fire emergency. Get us the fuck out of here, or I promise I'll kick your ass all the way back to Saigon." As the firefight raged on, the remainder of the team was lying down on the ground, the firing at the NVA while Childress and Letourneau continued to argue while standing up, oblivious to the AK-47 rounds cracking over their heads. Letourneau yelled back at Childress, "It won't work," while pointing to the PRC 25 radio where the antenna had been shot off. No antenna, no commo. Letourneau grabbed a spare whip antenna and handed it to Childress, who screwed it into the radio. This time, Childress screamed in the radio, "We need an exfil now. I'm declaring a prairie fire emergency. Is anyone out there?" Within a second or two, there was a response. "Calm down, Childress. I realize you're under fire," said a Covey rider. Just at that moment, several AK-47s opened fire from the wood line near the log where Letourneau had been unceremoniously slammed onto his face. Lapp and Cowboy returned fire. Covey rider continued, "We heard your team declare a prairie fire emergency on guard frequency, and I've rallied the cavalry. What's your mark? Do you have an LZ in sight?" Before Childress said a word into the radio, he turned to Letourneau and said, "See, it works. Suppose we had left it for the NVA. Never, I say again, never ever leave behind a radio." As if to emphasize that point, the NVA opened fire again as Lapp began looking for an LZ while moving the team down the hill away from the most concentrated NVA gunfire. Cutting Letourneau no slack, Childress roared, "Tell Covey we'll give him a fix in 5 minutes. We'll probably need strings to get out of here. I doubt we can make it down to the valley where a King Bee can pick us up." Without missing a beat, Letourneau, who for the first time felt 4 burning stings in his back, repeated those words to Covey while he and Cowboy began providing cover fire as the tail element of the team. Letourneau nodded to Cowboy, who ignited several Claymore mines that the team had set out on its perimeter. Those mines only slowed the NVA for a few seconds. Before the dust and debris from the blast had settled, NVA soldiers were moving through it toward Cowboy and Letourneau. Without saying a word, the two men took turns firing at the enemy while moving downhill. Rotating around each other, Cowboy would fire several bursts from his CAR-15 and then reload. As he reloaded, Letourneau would open fire, providing covering fire for the team. During one short lull, Cowboy even planted a Claymore mine in the direction of the advancing NVA, and Letourneau dug out another Claymore from his rucksack and placed a 10-second delayed fuse on it. When the NVA advanced again, Cowboy ignited his Claymore mine. The NVA moved towards the team again. Letourneau ignited his fuse and ran down the hill with Cowboy to catch up to their team. Before they reached the team, 2 B-40 anti-personnel rockets slammed into the trees above them, showering them with shrapnel. A few more exploded as Letourneau and Cowboy moved down the hill. Then the 10-second fuse ignited another Claymore. It brought precious time for the gun and run team of Letourneau and Cowboy to turn to cover ground and catch up to the remainder of St. Virginia. As Childress called in airstrikes, Letourneau reflected on how surreal the firefight had been. It wasn't anything like he had witnessed on television or in any movie. Instead of men charging each other and killing each other in plain sight, here in Triple Canopy Jungle, he observed green tracers from AK-47s first, or at the most, an enemy hand or foot. And somehow the NVA found firing lanes where they could launch shoulder-held B-40 anti-personnel rockets that slammed above them and around them as they raced down the hill. Again, the voices of his Special Forces instructors echoed in his mind. They had told the young, aspiring Green Berets at Fort Bragg that the NVA was a tough, resilient opponent. Many had fought against the Japanese during World War II and against the French driving them from Vietnam in 1954. The sounds of King Bees in the distance and the crashing thunder of B-40 rockets slamming into trees above his head shook Letourneau out of his moment of introspection and turned his undivided attention to the crescendo of AK-47 fire from the enemy. St. Virginia responded with volley after volley of full and semi-automatic gunfire, while Letourneau and Cho fired several M79 rocket rounds toward the densest section of jungle where the AK-47 gunfire was emanating. Through the gunfire, someone popped a smoke grenade, which brought the King Bees closer to RT Virginia's location in the jungle. Over the din of gunfire, Childress and Cowboy told everyone to put on their Swiss seats and prepare for string extraction. In short order, a King Bee was hovering over St. Virginia more than 125 feet above the jungle floor. Letourneau, Cowboy, Cho, and Hahn hooked their D-rings into the old McGuire rig that hung from the end of the ropes and shortly were being lifted out of the jungle. As the quartet of recon men was being lifted into the air, the NVA released another salvo of AK-47 and B-40 rockets. Shrapnel from the rockets hit them with varying degrees of size and velocity. All of them were wounded. It was during these explosions that Letourneau realized his Car-15 had somehow become caught in the rope above him, just far enough away that he couldn't reach it. He pulled out his M79 and launched a grenade toward the NVA positions. Now all he could see of the enemy were hundreds of muzzle blasts from AK-47s and green tracer rounds climbing upward toward the quartet of St. Virginia men. Before he could reload his M79, the King Bee began to move away from the target area, surprising him because the men had not cleared the jungle yet. Instead of continuing to climb out of the target, moving straight up until the men cleared the jungle's triple canopy of trees and vegetation, the King Bee was moving away from the target area due to the heavy enemy ground fire. In recent months, at least 2 King Bees were shot down during the string extractions from hot targets, but these facts were unknown to Letourneau at the time. Shrapnel from B-40 rockets exploded around the St. Virginia men, stinging them with pieces of hot metal, further spooking the King Bee crew. Letourneau began to violently collide with the tall jungle trees. Feeling like a metal ball in a pinball machine, Letourneau careened off several more trees. At least one more B-40 exploded in the treetops, again showering him with shrapnel. A tree branch hit Letourneau from one side and turned him upside down in his Swiss seat. As the rope seat began to slip down his hips, Letourneau remembered Spider telling how a 1-0 from another team had recently been shot out of his Swiss seat during a rope extraction. Another tree struck Letourneau before he was able to muster the surge of strength and momentum to reach up and grab the rope above him as his body finally cleared the treetops. The only thing between him and certain death below was the jungle floor. 200 feet below was the single piece of rope tied into the King Bee. With one final urgent pull, Letourneau was able to move himself upright in the Swiss seat as the King Bee continued to climb higher into the sky, distancing itself from the fury of exploding B-40s and AK-47 gunfire while gaining airspeed. Well, there you go.
And Cowboy was there for that, and he was still recovering from the wounds from October 5th. Here he is around Thanksgiving.
So a month and a half later, after your October 5th insanity, you're out there again.
Almost healed.
Almost healed.
Because the tree up Dam Juan.
Yeah.
Nung. And another one that my village. And they want me to go with them.
Oh,
is that what it was?
They were from your village and they wanted you to go and help them?
Go help
to Virginia, them. Yeah.
And then, by the way, the new man.
Lap?
The Frenchman.
Because was this the Frenchman's first mission?
This is Cherry mission.
The first mission, we don't trust how he learning.
Right.
So that's why we gotta go strong enough to protect him.
Sure.
And by the chowder, he very good, perfect. He perfect man, but he only one. And then Frenchman, he's the new guy. We don't know about him, but you know.
Yeah, the 1-0 had run several missions.
Yes. 1-0.
Childers.
They got an experience. I don't want the Frenchman like a James Stryker. James Stryker, the first mission, he's going. And the first mission, it's easy to go. That's why, I'm volunteered to go with the Virginia to take care of my 3 friends, send my village. And by the way, that the Frenchman, he's a very new man. So
Baby son.
Yes, Baby Sean. That we call him Baby Sean.
But he did okay.
But he perfect.
Yeah.
But he good. He training good.
Did you train him how to kill the dogs?
I don't know. I don't know. But we very like it, the machine.
Yes.
When I shoot something, he knew I run out of ammo. He cover me. Mm-hmm. And when he ran out the machine, the ammo, I cover him. So I can adjust it. He like it, the number 2.
Yes.
He number 2. Because the first time, later on, I know he ran a lot of missions.
13.
Yes, I know about it. I know he ran a lot of missions, but
For sure.
that's why he's still survivor.
But that makes you all the more amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause he
within
did
a
13
month and a half.
Only month and a half.
Yeah, you go from October 5th to this mission
Yeah,
as part of your 6
almost
years in
healed
SOG.
with my scar. Almost healed, not really healed. Almost healed.
Well, you got new shrapnel too.
Yes.
You had this new shrapnel wounds from that.
But in order, to become like you and me right now, I cannot, leave you alone.
Right.
I gotta go with you
Sure.
because we close friend, very close friend.
Well, that's what it's all about, and it's amazing to be able to sit here and talk to you. I can't believe that I'm sitting here and talking to you. I can't believe that you survived one of those missions. Never mind
6 years.
Yeah, 6 years of those missions.
I thought just normal.
No, it's not just normal.
Like somebody else.
No, that's no one else doing that.
We got pay,
Yeah.
right? And then we got a bonus if we do it a good thing. Like if we have a
Get a POW?
Do you remember how much you got paid?
One picture, that's $500.
$500?
500 piastres.
Piastres.
How much is a piastre worth?
Like-
Depends on what time of day it is. Maybe $1.
So you go and do these missions
No,
for
that's
$1.
like
You're a cheap date.
Like a $5.
$5 then?
$5 for a picture.
Yeah, okay.
And then
For a
The
recon
piastres
picture?
was their Vietnamese currency.
we can learn a lot from the shop. Like you remember, sometimes we got a radio, small radio.
Right.
We get in the jungle, we throw it, and then some special camera, and we throw in the jungle, and we learn a lot.
We put in the sensors too.
Yes, and a
The
sensor,
trails.
Cameras and sensors.
camera and sensor, and radio. You gotta ask me why you throw the radio into the jungle, right?
Right. I never knew about that, so this is all top secret. It's so
Okay.
top secret, even I didn't know
Even
it.
Tilt didn't know. Then you know it's top secret.
That
Yeah.
another system, another system from the department. But we don't know or whatever. Do I have authority to speak in that? The radio we throw in the jungle. That means you gotta have a question. If the communists pick up the radio, who's the one use it? A squad leader, a platoon leader, or a company leader?
And then it blow up.
No, they not blow up. Inside the radio, they got a something. When they order anything,
Mm-hmm.
airplane
Mm,
know what's going on.
there you go.
Wow.
Now we learn from them a lot.
I'm glad we talked to you today. I
We
learned
learn
something.
we learn from them a lot. You see it? Or like at the flashlight,
Yes.
we throw the jungle. Nobody know. And when we training to throw the flashlight in the jungle, the first question that they ask me, if you see the flashlight in the jungle, do you pick it up?
I'm gonna say no.
You say no, pass the test.
You should pick it up.
But the NVA might pick it up.
Yeah, NVA, you gotta pick it up.
Oh, they're gonna pick it up, but
Yeah,
I'm
they
saying I
gotta
wouldn't
pick
pick
it
it
up.
up because you'd have that thing booby trapped or something.
Because you thought it important thing, just normal thing. Okay, the first question they ask you, you see the flashlight in the jungle, do you pick it up? You say no. That means something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
I say yes, why not? And I pick it up. And the second question, what do you do with the flashlight when you pick it up?
Turn it on.
Turn it on, you fail the test. Because it mine in there. How do you know? When you turn it on, it
Blows
out.
up.
So many learning from I don't know how to tell you, but you know.
You did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I got to learn a lot. I got to learning a lot. Okay, team moving. 3 NVA that follow you, enemy follow you. The first question that you want a 3 enemy dead or you want a three enemy wounded? If I answer the 3 enemy dead, you go home.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot run recon anymore.
We want POWs.
I want a 3 guy, at least 1 guy that wounded. Why? Because the team still on the mission. The wounded, another NVA got to take care of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that delay the time that they follow the team.
And if you get a POW, you get a bonus.
Yeah, if we
a lot of piastres for a POW.
Yeah, I don't know how many.
BMW a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buku piastres.
Buku, like like 100,000 something. Yeah,
I don't know.
Wow.
100,000 piastres.
Yeah, we only got $100, so I don't know what you would get. I didn't hear about that side of it.
The reason that we got a bonus, but now I found that bonus. Before that, I don't know anything. I don't know, just empty. I don't know anything about it. But we learn. We learn from him. We learn from you. We learn from him. We learn a lot. Every different guy.
And we learned from you. We talk back and forth.
Yes, like I learned from him. He learned from me. So we sit it down. We show our experience. Like I told you, if I show the enemy in the jungle, I kill him. It's easy. But in order to complete my duty, I gotta stay on the ground about 5 days. That's why I'm not kill the enemy. I just stay there. And they test you how smart to handle the thing happen. That's why I want to become, the recon team. It's very difficult. But especially the first thing is protect this guy, protect American guy. The first choice, protect American guy. But we understand that we was recruits to refuel the American came to the Vietnam. That's why I can tell you that I am so lucky. I'm not good, but just normal. Just bring everything is normal, better than for me.
Well, you're definitely lucky, and I can tell from everything I've seen, you're damn good too.
That's perfect. Very lucky.
Yeah, amazing. It's just an amazing story to sit here and talk to you and get this information and get other people to be able to hear this story is just, it's awesome.
Indeed.
You got anything else, Tilt?
No, this is it. This has been a great ride, and thank you for bringing us together. This is really a special day.
It's awesome. You got anything else, Con?
Thank you to invite me to be here today. But our country situation right now, I am very sad. I can tell you my dad gotta die by the socialism. My father dead because he the capitalist. He not very rich man, but he middle guy. He middle in the Vietnam. But the communism, it no good at all. Please send a message to the people. Don't trust the communism. That's all I can say. That we here, we safety, but after the vote for president situation right now, I am sad to let at my knowledge, I don't know it's true or not, but another hand from the communism touched to the United States of America. I be here for 88 for 32 years. I never get back to country. I never visit Vietnam. Even I want to go back there, but
for the funerals.
Yeah, for the from our friend is still back in the Vietnam, but the Vietnamese government won't let me get in. If you don't trust me, I got a paperwork in here.
We trust you.
Yes. We do.
I work with the General Smith, who's the MIA accounting. He's came in the Hawaii Camp Smith.
This is several years ago, right?
No, like the 15, 20 years ago.
Okay.
I work with him regarding about
POWs and MIAs. Yes.
Can cry Robinson and Hokkaido, like the helicopter.
Stride.
Yes, Stride. But they won't let me get there. I have met family with the our friend King. I'm pick up the name the King right now because
Paul King.
Yeah, Paul King.
Yes.
Because on behalf of Paul King.
It was King and Crine that were KIA on Alaska when John Allen escaped. He and Ede.
Well, I can tell you, I think one of the reasons that you start seeing these things in America is people don't understand communism and they don't realize how evil it is. And so you coming on here and sharing your story and explaining what you went through, what your father went through, what your family went through at the hands of the communists, I can assure you that there might be some Americans that don't understand, but there are plenty of Americans that do understand, and we will never let that evil form of government control take over this country. It will never happen.
Never.
I believe so. But in my side, I hear, the communists want to take over the U.S. because they mess up, the voter. They mess up the computer, vote for the president term. Mm-hmm. It turned over to Mr. Joe Biden. I heard a lot of information, so I scanned it. I want to buy another boat now, if I got a money. In order to happen, I escaped from United States.
You're not going to need another boat to escape from United States. We will make sure that doesn't happen.
Indeed.
And America is stronger than one person, and our roots are deep, and we will stay a free country. And because of men like you, we're able to be here today.
Absolutely.
How they mess up the country right now? The Department of Defense, Mr. Expert, get fired, and a lot of men get fired. They undercover cover to another country.
Mm.
Why? You said very strong, but we gotta take care. We gotta be careful with it. Remember, communism control the people by food. You don't have a food, you can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they control the people in China. They control the Cuba. They control the North Korea. You outside their country, you see, hey, look good. But inside the country,
no good.
It no good. They say you wanted food, you gotta do it. They wanted water, you do it. They want a fish, 1 month for 2 or 3 fish, you gotta do it.
Mm-hmm.
I given you the paperwork to go buy from the store. It's not free. Like here, United States people, you want anything, you have everything.
You can work for
in
it.
There, You want anything? You gotta listen and obey me. What to do? Judge me about the way it is. You say very strong country. No. You see it? It no COVID. How the government say you need to take a mask. Thinking about listen, why Mr. Expert, he commander with the United States Army. He got fired, and another 3 got fired too. Okay, I'm looking back. I asked you the question. American don't lose anything, right? But why we still get out of Vietnam? Why we lose Vietnam? You
Politics.
Told me, politics. Because now it's politics, but with my experience, the politics, they can control, the hero guy like you, like me. And then we trust them. We're gonna die. Like at the time at Mr. Obama, you see do you see the picture Marine in the boat surrender with the? What do you think?
That was not a good situation at all.
But why? Why we still have a picture? Because the people back in the Washington, like Mr. Trump, they can't do anything. We're a soldier. We gotta do, and we gotta follow with the order. But they order us to come to die. So I'm not a political guy. I'm, retired man, 72 years old. I can't do anything. I can make any money, but I am afraid of my children, my grandchild, grow up living under communism.
Well, that's a good point, and I appreciate that point. I'm sitting here saying, "Oh, America's strong," but your point is, we can't get arrogant and think that it can't happen to us. We have to remain vigilant all the time.
Yes, sir.
Trust but verify.
Indeed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, once again, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your stories. You're always welcome here. Both you guys, obviously, are always welcome here. Khanh, thanks for coming and sharing your story. And thank you, more importantly, for your service to your country, to this country, to defend freedom and democracy in the world. And thank you for taking care of your big American brothers on the battlefield and your Vietnamese brothers as well. And thank you for you and your family's sacrifice on the altar of freedom.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Amen.
And with that, Tilt and Cowboy Khanh have left the building, leaving nothing but respect and admiration for incredible service, incredible men, and everything that they've gone to. Everything they've gone through. Echo Charles, you were sitting in the corner.
Yes.
We didn't have room for you at the table.
That's okay.
Pretty insane, right?
Yes. Very much so. Yeah, it's a little bit different when I'm like not excluded, but not in on the table.
You were
whatever.
detached.
Detached, yeah. I'm detached even more. So yeah, it is interesting. You can sort of see and imagine really kind of what's going on and what like everyone went through and how it was being like in a different culture, and with military and stuff, and then you kind of compare it to all the people that have come on and shared their story. Yeah, very interesting.
The crazy thing is all those back to back years of doing these missions. I mean, the SOG guys could barely get out of there alive.
Yeah.
And there's no getting out.
Okay, so there's this part. This might seem kind of random, but there's a part of that I remembered where he said that he could smell. They could smell.
Yeah. He kind of opened up with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I was thinking about it where it's like, yeah, I see how that could be really. When you're so used to a certain environment, you can tell just little differences. Like
100%, man.
So, here's an example, like when you're at home, right? And if someone just came over and just left, You come in. I don't even know if you can smell them, but it's probably has something to do with smell.
Oh, you can definitely smell
But you
them.
know how you can, but put it this way. That's what I thought too, that you could smell them, but I can't smell something specific. I know it just smells different. You know that feeling? So it almost does feel like a little bit of a sense, you know? So imagine that, like, or like, you know how like your furniture will be moved just a little bit, and you walk in, like I have a little home office, whatever, and there's this couch, and when I put it in there, it's the perfect, like I painstakingly put it a certain distance from there's a TV in there too, and so
in your home office you have a couch and a TV.
Yes,
Just
and some other
cool.
stuff.
That's cool.
Hey man, I make videos. Got it, you know.
Good point.
Anyway, so one time I was fixing something underneath the couch, and I just, I had to apparently move it just a little bit, and just didn't think about it. And then when I walked in, like later that night or whatever, I was like immediately felt it. It was off by like literally 1 inch, literally, and I could feel it. I looked at it. It was like threw me off, So that's kind of the kind of stuff he was thinking.
Yeah, and those guys growing up in the jungle, they grow up in the jungle.
Oh, yeah,
and so they're just 100% in tune with it. And then you got the big gringos coming in, and he kept calling himself a city slicker. Amazing guys. Well, when I hear stories like that, it certainly makes me feel like we can step up our game. Like I can definitely step up my game. Like I can do better. Always training, like Cowboy said. Oh man, Cowboys. And you know what? I don't know if we captured it because we were talking before we pressed record, but he started getting really into training. Just like how well they trained. Yeah. And he did mention it a bunch. He did mention a bunch, but he gave kind of the foundational part about training before we pressed record. Like the foundational, how much it meant. So he kept saying it, and he reiterated it, especially at the end. He was reiterating it. But yeah, it's no doubt. You always got to train. Always got to be prepared. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Yeah. Train harder.
Yeah, kind of applies to everything too. Even if you don't necessarily want to think of it in terms of like, oh, there's an enemy out there, literally. Or even figuratively, if you don't necessarily want to think about that part of it all the time, it has to do with capability. Because enemy, that can be anything if you want to go metaphoric.
You're preaching the wrong guy here. I'm down with the metaphoric and
the
real enemy.
Okay. Well, let's face it. If you have let's say you're bringing home those big water jugs, 5-gallon water jugs. Yeah. You put in a water cooler or whatever. Yeah. Let's say you're bringing some of those home. Okay. And let's say you don't have a lift gate on your truck, or you just have a car. You have a car, but it's in the back seat. And now you got to reach in there and you got to grab it at this awkward angle. See what I'm saying? That in and of itself could be an enemy.
Yeah. Never mind the NVA storming your position.
Yeah.
More important could be a water bottle scenario.
The chances of an NVA storming your position today a little bit lower than you grabbing a water jug. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Everyone's different. I get it. Nonetheless, the point still remains. Look, we're trying to keep ourselves capable. We're trying to train. We want to keep training. Regardless of how often you are performing. We'll call it a performance.
Well, you are performing all the time. Is another way of thinking of things.
And performing and training all the time, because you got to learn from your performance, right? See what I'm saying? It's like one of those deals. Yeah. Anyway, all right, we're doing it. Through training comes beatings, comes breakdowns. More or less. Most of the time. Actually, all the time.
Sometimes I just got to leave you to figure it out. Like those statements right there. I can tell maybe you threw it out there as if you'd get some support.
No.
But then it didn't come.
I do that sometimes, but this was not one of those times.
Check.
Anyway, when we build ourselves back up, the benefits of training, sometimes we get little nagging things in our joints or other places, whatever. We don't want to worry about that kind of stuff. So Jocko has Joint Warfare, Super Krill Oil. These are supplementation for your joints. Okay. So the whole line is called Jocko Fuel. So with that, Jocko Fuel for your joints has, like I said, Joint Warfare, Super Krill Oil. We also have for your brain and body, by the way, I don't want to call it a product, even though it is a product.
Okay.
I'm going to call it a product. We have a product.
Nah, don't call it a product.
All right. See. Okay. You feel me then? Well, a
just
thing.
That's better.
We have a thing called
a substance.
discipline, right? So it's discipline. You can take this form of supplementation in a few forms. So you got the powdered version, mix it with water.
Mm-hmm. That's what I did today.
Yes, sir. Pill, don't mix it with water, just swallow it.
Just swallow it.
Maybe with some water or whatever. Quick hitter. Or in the cans. Kind of like an energy drink, if you will.
Except for one that's literally good for you.
Actually healthy. Yeah. So yes. So
real energy.
Yes.
Not fit. You know what else gives you energy? Cocaine, apparently. Right?
That's what I heard.
Apparently cocaine gives you energy. Makes you feel like, hey, I'm going to go and work hard right now.
Energetic.
Sure. Or crystal methamphetamine. Apparently that gives you energy too.
A little bit different, but
now, you don't go around saying, hey, you need some energy? Do some cocaine. We're not doing that.
It's unhealthy.
It's bad for you.
We'll say it's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
There's the category that you just used, quote, energy drinks, which are in the same realm.
Potentially. Not quite, but
okay, maybe not quite.
I understand what you're saying, no, fully. Yes. So yeah, a lot of times when energy drink, you're like, hey, let's drink all like 2, 3, 4, 5 energy drinks. You're gonna be like, I don't know about all that. Shouldn't we not be drinking energy drinks? It's kind of, you have that feeling a lot of the time.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? But Discipline Go in the can might even kind of look like an energy drink. It doesn't. It's just not like that.
Yeah.
This is the actual healthy thing. Is what
real
I'm saying.
Energy. Because that's what I was gonna say. Because cocaine, that's not real energy.
Well, it depends on what you mean by real, and it depends on what you mean by energy.
Okay.
I mean, in the spirit of fairness,
we'll have to get somebody with some expertise in cocaine in here to discuss
and energy
and energy drinks.
Yeah. Nonetheless, you know what I'm saying. Healthy energy drink.
So don't do cocaine.
Yes.
Instead,
don't. Correct.
Try Discipline Go in a can. All the zing, none of the negative benefits.
No,
dude, do you remember what?
No, not all the zing.
No,
of
check
cocaine.
it out. I was on Theo Vaughn's podcast.
Sure, hell yeah.
And he was drinking Discipline Go, and he said something really funny. It's kind of slid under the radar comment. Mm-hmm. But he said something comparing it to cocaine, and he said, "Actually, I think I'm going back on to cocaine." I think that's what's in my brain right now.
Yeah, that's weird because I don't pound. Well, I won't like drink the whole thing super fast, but then actually, that's not true. I have, but when you drink it super fast, then I think you'll get a little jolt.
Yeah, well, super fast meaning how long?
When you down it, like in 3, 4 or less hits.
Oh, that's definitely, you're gonna feel that one for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. But no, if I drink like 2 over the course of a podcast, like I will not feel like what I imagine cocaine feels like.
Yeah,
I've never done cocaine.
Yeah, me neither.
Nonetheless, it's not cocaine. It's good for you.
Yeah,
it's
crystal methamphetamine and cocaine are not good for you.
Are unhealthy. Yes.
Jocko Discipline Go is good for you.
Okay. Well,
I think that's what we're trying to say over here.
All right. Yes, it's true. Also, speaking of good for you, vitamin D3.
Yeah.
Jocko Fuel, very good for you. Keep you healthy, immune system strong. Also, immune system strong stuff. Cold War is another one. So boom, you got the whole gambit.
Yeah.
What's gambit, right? That's correct.
That's good usage.
Gambit,
word usage approved.
Deal. Yeah. Of stuff, for that kind of stuff you don't want to worry about. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Plus we got Mulk. We got Warrior Kid Mulk, which is protein that tastes good. Plus we got Jocko White Tea, and plus all the stuff that we're talking about. You can get it at originmain.com, or you can get it at the Vitamin Shop, or you can get it at Wawa in Florida right now. And it looks like very soon Wawa all over the East Coast. It looks like we're heading in that direction.
Yeah.
So everyone that's been, by the way, everyone that in Florida has been going out and basically getting after it, clearing shelves. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're heading in the right direction. The beach head is under the process of being secured at this time, which we feel good about.
Yes. Yeah. Also, yes. So you mentioned originmain.com. Back to originmain.com. This is where you can get American-made stuff, including but not limited to jiu-jitsu gis, rash guards, some hoodies on there, some joggers on there, some shorts on there, which I haven't been talking about. But they're, aside from board shorts, they're the only shorts I wear.
But you don't really wear board shorts very often.
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, on the mats of justice?
Mats of justice, workout,
okay,
pool,
okay.
Every single day in Hawaii if I go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's either board shorts or that. Straight up.
Got it. Check. I jumped the proverbial gun on that one.
All good. Hey, we're all here training, learning. Also,
because I only see you in the Origin shorts, the shark fin short. That's the only shorts I see you in. Because unless we're on the mats,
right? Yeah.
Of justice.
Yep, it's true. Also, at Origin Maine, still in Origin Maine, jeans, American-made denim from the cotton grown to make the fabric, to make the denim, to make the jeans, all made in America.
Yep.
By the way, also boots on there.
Delta jeans are back in the game. By the way,
yeah, Delta 68.
I'm wearing them right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that. Those are
and
nice.
I saw you. You kind of like gave me you grabbed the material and kind of pulled it.
Right.
What was your assessment?
Yeah, well, my assessment was that they have some legitimate give to them, and I just reflected on the fact that I don't have any.
I'm really sorry, but the new Delta jeans are freaking, and they are a little bit new. So we had the original Delta jeans, and then during COVID, we re-engineered some stuff. We got some denim that we liked even more. Redid the what is it? The cut.
The cut. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and they're just freaking awesome now. So,
were they always dark, like that dark?
You probably see my OG pair of Deltas that I just wore. I wear them all the time, and so they're like jeans because they fade a little bit. They fade as time goes on. Right. So the pair that you're seeing right now are basically brand new.
Gotcha. No, I like the dark denim.
Yeah, well,
they're good.
It will fade over time.
Right on. Cool. Yeah. So origin.com. Also,
boots. I forgot that.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget about boots.
Same deal. Yeah. Works of art. Arts
for your
of
feet.
Work.
For your feet.
For your feet. Made in America. All good. Also, Jocko's store is called Jocko Store. This is where you can get discipline equals freedom shirts, hats, hoodies, lightweight and heavyweight, by the way. Some women's stuff on there, some beanies, some rash guards,
some soap,
some
Warrior Kid soap,
Jocko soap, Trooper soap.
Yeah.
Killer soap.
By the way, all this stuff that we're talking about, if you want to support the podcast, you want to provide some level of support. All this stuff helps us out, that way we don't have to get sponsors.
Yeah, there's that.
Because look, this might be annoying, which I'm sure it is. Like this whole thing, right? But okay, maybe not for you, but for a lot of people, this might be super annoying. But the cool thing is you don't have to listen to it. We didn't put it in the middle of, cut off Cowboy and just start, hey, here's a word from, whatever. Yeah. We're not doing that.
Yeah, that is true.
So we appreciate it when you get, if you look, we need stuff. And I'm not a big, what's the minimum? Well, look, we all want to be a minimalist, right? We want to be a minimalist, don't want to buy a bunch of stuff, but there's stuff that you do need. For instance, do you need a gi? Yes, you do. Yeah. Do you need a pair of jeans? Yes, you do. Yeah. Do you need a t-shirt? Yes, you do. Do you need food? Yes, you do. Do you need supplementation? Yes, you like all these. We're just making stuff that you need. Yeah. So if you need it, you can get it from us. It helps out the podcast. It provides a little bit of that support.
So it's like a win-win. Kind of helps everything.
Yeah. You could go to like a local store and buy, right?
Yeah, you could.
A pair of jeans that were made in China. Yeah. You could do that. You could. I mean, you are allowed to.
Yeah.
But it's not really, let's face it, it's not really what you want to do.
No, it's very questionable for sure.
Questionable behavior. Yeah. Anyways, speaking of this podcast, you can subscribe to it.
No. Okay, speaking of subscribing, actually. Okay. So, Jocko Store. Back to Jocko Store.
Okay.
So, we have a t-shirt club. We'll call it a subscription scenario where you get how should I say, like a unique, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's a given. Anyway, you get a shirt every month that's kind of more like, it's different, but it's still in the game, on the path, etc. Anyway, go to jockostore.com and you can check them out, see if you like that one. But yeah, that's a cool little thing people been doing that we offer. It's pretty cool.
And then if you get a t-shirt from this thing, you can't get it anywhere else.
No,
So
you can't even really get it on the store. Really, they're only for like, you'll see, like when you see kind of the examples of someone, you'll be like, okay, this kind of makes sense. Right. They're fun and they're, you know. So yeah, there's always all kinds of cool ideas that come in for shirts, for this, for that.
But we can't just execute them all.
No, they're varying levels.
Scale.
Yeah. So, you know,
we're doing on an exclusive scale.
Kind of. Yeah.
No, what do you mean kind of?
I don't know. I don't know what you meant by scale. That's why.
On an exclusive scale, meaning we're not doing it on a mass scale. Hey, everyone that wants one of these. No, it's on a more exclusive scale. Like, we don't have to make whatever the number of T-shirts is.
Yes.
Because we don't know what someone's going to order.
Yeah. Yeah, you're correct.
If they're in the game, then we know it, and you get a shirt. That looks cool. That has more layers.
There are many layers, all infused in that situation. Nonetheless, yes, jockostore.com. Also, like Jocko indicated, you can subscribe to this podcast on wherever you subscribe to podcasts. There you go. Boom.
And don't forget about the Unraveling podcast that I also record. And don't forget about the Grounded podcast, which we are supposed to record, but we haven't recorded a lot of. Don't forget about the Warrior Kid podcast, which hopefully during Thanksgiving, when some people don't have to work, I'll be able to slip in there and record some Warrior Kid podcast. So we're going to work on that one. Don't forget about, we have a YouTube channel. And this is where the creative mind of Echo Charles manifests itself via explosions, tanks, airplanes, and if you want to watch a video that's 30 seconds long that has a lot of stuff blowing up, go there. If you also want to watch a video that's 4 hours long with nothing blowing up, also go there.
Yeah, boom. Yes, that is true. YouTube channel. All good. Official, by the way. Also, Psychological Warfare, if you don't know what that is. It's an album, audio album with tracks of Jocko explaining to you how to get past your moments of weakness in the event of them arising, which they do from time to time, let's face it. But yeah, have Jocko there just tell you, hey, you shouldn't do this, you should do this. See this thing you're thinking about doing that you won't want to have done? Don't do that.
Don't do that thing.
A Jocko version of that. It's actually really helpful, my opinion.
We also have a visual version of that. Flipsidecanvas.com. Dakota Meyer making all kinds of cool stuff. There's a bunch of books. What books did we cover today? Well, we're talking about SOG. So if you're going to jump into SOG, you can get Across the Fence, On the Ground, and SOG Chronicles by John Stryker Meyer. And then you can also get Whiskey Tango Foxtrot by Lynn Black. You can get About Face by David Hackworth. There's a new version out, a re-release that I wrote the forward to. There's Leadership Strategy and Tactics Field Manual. There's the Code, the Protocols, and the Evaluations. There's Discipline Freedom Field Manual. There's a brand new version of that out. That's a good go-to for that Christmas scenario.
Yes, it is.
The holiday scenario. Check that one out. Way of the Warrior Kid 4 Field Manual is also, I think it's live right now. Yeah, it's live. Way of the Warrior Kid 4 Field Manual. Here's the thing on all these. From what I understand, intel, there's going to be a shortage of aircraft, trucks, and laborers, drivers, pilots during Christmas because everything is going to be shipped. So if you want to get any of this stuff, even though I know we're all trying to be minimalist, but kids need a freaking book to read. So get them Way of the Warrior Kid 4, Field Manual, Way of the Warrior Kid 1, 2, and 3, Mikey and the Dragons, and then Extreme Ownership and the Dichotomy of Leadership. I have a leadership consultancy called Echelon Front where we solve problems through leadership. You can go to echelonfront.com for that. We have EF Online, which is where we do leadership training, online, interactive. So you can go check that out, efonline.com. We got the muster in Dallas, Texas. You can come check that out in extremeownership.com. We have EF Overwatch, which is executive leadership for your company that understands the principles that we talk about. If you want to help service members, active and retired, their families, Gold Star families, if you want to help out veterans, and if you want to help out American service men and women, then check out Mark Lee's mom, Mama Lee. She has a charity organization. You can go and donate or get involved at americasmightywarriors.org. And if you like to torment yourself Well, you can do so with more of my protracted pronouncements, or maybe some more of Echo's hyped up hypotheses. You can find us on the interweb, on Twitter, on Instagram, and just so Echo knows, because he only refers to Instagram as the gram, and also on Facebook. Echo is at Echo Charles, and I'm at Jocko Willink. And it should more importantly be known that John Stryker Meyer is on Instagram at JStrykerMeyer. And once again, thanks to Tilt and Cowboy for their incredibly heroic. We need a new word beyond heroic for their service to America and to freedom. We will not forget the sacrifice or the legacy of these warriors. And thanks to all the warriors all over the world in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and also to those foreign nationals that we fight alongside. Thank you for defending freedom. And the same to police and law enforcement, firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, dispatchers, correctional officers, Border Patrol, Secret Service, and all first responders. Thanks for keeping us safe here at home. And to everyone else out there, I've got one thing to say. Chuhoy Duma! Until next time, this is Echo and Jocko. Out.